right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello to all the patrons. And yeah, we're not quite ready to start yet. We're just doing some last minute checks. But as you can see, we got Ash, we got Steve, and we got Scott. Hello, Scott. How you
Hi.
doing?
Hi. I'm doing okay. I went to Walmart today. That was abysmal. I hate Walmart. It was so bad.
Why?
Walmart is
Why did you
awful.
subject yourself to that?
Horrible. I needed to buy gourds for a video. I didn't even find gourds. So it
I
was a
think you were
complete
going to
waste.
do that last month.
I mean,
Well,
I bought gourds last month, but I wanted to throw them away before they went bad. So I was like, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, so it was just like there was potential. But man, Walmart is easily my least favorite retail shop like that. It's just like it's literally like there's something in everybody's mind that clicks when they go to Walmart. They're just like, I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm just like, great. I much prefer.
You're not wrong.
Target.
I think there's something to that. Yeah.
Yeah, Target is much better, but it's just like we have places over here in Ohio called Meijer, which are like kind of like an amalgamation of Target and Walmart. It's so much.
I've seen those.
It's so much better. Yeah.
See, I
There's
live
nothing-
in Arizona, which is basically the Walmart of America. So
Oh.
I thought that was
I-
Mississippi.
I don't know, man. All I know is I pretty much see Walmart people everywhere I go.
Is it just like a con? I just know even parking at Walmart is a train wreck. Like everybody's just like, I'll just go through the grass here. It's just like I don't care. It's just everybody's just going just absolutely wild in Walmart, whether outside of it or inside. I don't like it.
No.
I only have to go.
Yeah.
I only go when I specifically have to go.
Costco's the same way. I avoid Costco as much as I can as well.
But I like Costco. Costco's
Really?
kinda quirky. I kind of
Oh
like
man,
it. I decided, I don't know, there was like one day, like a year ago, where I was just like, I'm bored. I'm gonna get a Costco membership. So I just
Let's buy stuff in bulk.
I'm bored.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a fun little experience that first 2 times. I don't think I renewed it though, because like I don't really have much of a reason to buy in bulk. They have good bottled water though. That's what I liked about Costco. Really good water.
There you
That's
go.
about it.
No, I
Most-
have
most
a
successful-
friend that works at Costco,
I mean,
and
the
he
pizza for
loves
me
it.
is worth it. Costco pizza.
Oh, the
That's pretty
food
good.
court. That's the fun part about Costco. They got a pretty fun food court. That's what I like about IKEA too. IKEA is like my favorite
Yeah,
place of all
that's
time.
true.
The food court is immaculate, and it's also a fun place to kill time. But Costco has a pretty rocking food court. It's not that bad. Pizza's pretty good. I don't know what else they have. They have like these weird like hot pocket like things, like sandwiches kind of deals. Those are pretty good. I forget what else they have. They have like
See,
they have,
I
like,
used
a
to feel
frozen yogurt
have
kind of thing. I don't
Frozen yogurt, churros.
I
know.
used
Oh
to
yeah,
feel
they got
that
the
way about IKEA.
churros.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can either get those at the State Fair or Costco for some reason.
Yeah.
Or Disney World.
I used to
Oh,
feel that
that's
way
true.
about IKEA, but I went last week and IKEA actually sucks during the pandemic because there's like a 30-minute line just to get in, and then you're kind of like ushered through. It's and of course all in the name of safety, it's the way it should be, but it's not nearly as fun just to go, or it's convenient to go as it used to be.
Right. I've never actually been inside a Costco. It was always growing up. It was always, and I'm gonna get laughs for this. It was BJ's. That was the
What, you
big.
mean like
I don't
like the pizza place?
That sounds slightly familiar, but it might be like, is it like a place that's only really like in like your general state area
It
kind
might
of thing?
be.
or is
I don't know how overall it is. I'm not, I honestly don't know, because I know Sam's Club started coming around, but BJ's was always where it was at.
it's like the,
You mean the brewery?
buy in bulk place.
Yeah, it's the buy in bulk place basically.
Oh, okay.
It's the same sort of thing as
Oh,
Costco. It has all the
never heard
food
of it.
court, has the free samples, has
I feel like the further west you go, the fewer like local chains you encounter. Like it just becomes all national brands by the time you hit California.
Well, you say
Yeah.
that, and we don't have In and Out. Not that I think
That's
that
true.
matters, but
But yeah, I've only ever heard of
what's-
the BJ's like brew house, like brewery restaurant chain
Same.
thing. Yeah.
Has anybody had In and Out? What's the deal with
Yes.
that place? What is like what would you rate it?
Oh man,
It's-
like a 9 out of 10.
It's good.
Wow.
I just think
it's good.
Wow.
It's good. It's just I think it's a bit overrated.
What else?
And I can say that
What
as
else
a
would you
Californian.
rate a 9 out of 10? I gotta figure out what a 9 out of 10 to you is.
Oh god, that's
What
a
game?
good
What
question.
game is a 9 out of 10 to you?
Oh man. Well, that's hard. I'm not gonna call
See
like
what the in and out of video games.
I'm not gonna
is.
Yeah,
call
they
In and
are.
Out like the Breath of the Wild of burgers or anything, but
No,
So here, like,
God.
Splatoon 2.
the thing about In and Out. Nice.
It's the Splatoon 2 burgers.
There you go.
The thing about In and Out is that the burgers are actually really good, but the fries are dog shit. Like they taste like sandpaper.
Well, yeah.
They're awful, and it almost makes
I-
it not worth it to go. But the burgers are really good. I'll give them that.
Yeah. See, we have Five Guys over here.
Mhm.
As
Oh,
an
Five
Ohio
Oh
Guys,
yeah,
one.
great.
Five Guys.
I'd actually rank
Pretty good.
Five Guys
Yeah.
higher. Like I've had In and Out, I had Steak Shack, Steak Shack or Shake Shack.
I wanted to try Shake Shack when I was in Pennsylvania for Too Many Games, but I never got around to it. It wasn't that like we went to like the Grand Lux.
Yes,
For dinner that time. Was there a Shake Shack right there?
I think there
forget.
might have been like in its own little spot because I've been to that mall before and
Mhm.
didn't go. But everybody that goes to Too Many Games lives by that Grand Lux, so they
Really good.
it has really
Really
good.
good.
It is really good food, but we go there with like 30 people every time. So
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's like one of those weird things where we should probably go to like a Red Robin or something, but instead we go to this fairly nice place and it's just like, oh yeah, a bunch of online personalities just wreaking havoc. It just feels a little weird of a place to do that at, but it's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good
it's
place.
good food.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I didn't have
like-
anything
yeah.
to eat that day, so I had a lot there. It was pretty good. Is it like a Cheesecake Factory spinoff or something?
I think it's like the fancier version of a Cheesecake Factory. I later found out. I thought it was its own thing, but no, it's just fancy
Oh.
Cheesecake Factory, which I've never actually been inside of one of those. So
yeah,
You're not
I
missing
haven't-
a whole lot.
Cheesecake Factories, it's solid. They have a huge menu and they do it all quite well, but it doesn't really excel at any one thing, except for cheesecake, I guess.
Cheesecake
I take that
Factory.
very seriously at a restaurant. I like it when they just have a ton of garbage like that. They may not excel at a lot of it, but it's also like you can go there like whenever you want, and it's always going to be pretty good.
yeah,
Because like there's a lot of those restaurants like In and Out or Five Guys where they do like these few things, these couple things very well, and that's about it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go there all the time because I have to be in the mood for that specific thing.
Right.
right.
So
Yeah.
I take the mediocre Cheesecake Factory very seriously. I don't know if there's any nearby me though. A bit tricky.
I don't.
Cheesecake Factory is like the official restaurant of formal high school dances everywhere. Like I
Yeah.
feel like every
That's
time
right.
I go to
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory, like a gaggle of teenagers in suits and dresses show up, and I'm like, what? There's somebody's having prom tonight. I
Okay, yeah,
guess
you know,
it's
you're right.
January, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Well,
I think,
shall we
we're-
go ahead
yeah.
and
Oh, we
Yeah,
could
go
just
and
talk restaurants for the like that. TNT's
know,
just
right?
restaurants tonight.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, if everybody wants to start, I can start recording the visuals, and if we want to
Yeah,
start
do.
recording everybody's audio,
All right.
3, 2, 1, record.
All right.
Everybody's recording. We should be in good shape. And oh yeah, the
I'll
clap.
go ahead and do my clap.
Hit my mic.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Just waiting for it.
And I don't do this very often. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we've been wanting to
I like
do
this
like
in
a
the,
discussion like thing with you for a while now. We just didn't get the opportunity.
Yeah. When I
I've only
joined
talked to
Game Explain-
Derek. I've talked to John a few times, so this is technically his channel, but he's gone forever. So whenever-
I know
John
this
is dead.
our
Long
first
live the
meet
new
both,
John.
Chat.
yeah, it's a pleasure to meet both Ash and Steve. I watched Game
Likewise.
Explain quite
Yeah,
a
man,
bit
same.
around the Smash Wii U days.
That's,
So Ash, you're a familiar voice to me.
that's
Thank
around
you,
the
that's
best
when
time
I
for most
joined.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually I joined right before that with a link between worlds, and then we
Right.
Oh.
segued nicely
Well,
into the weekly Smash discussions.
I think I started watching around the time the Wii U, was like they started. I remember watching analyses for like New Super Mario Brothers 2 and whatnot when that was announced in like April 2012. So I've watched for a while. So it is cool to see you guys do your own thing. It's nice to have an hour-long thing to listen to every night when I'm working.
Oh, I'm
so that's
glad you
Thank
listened.
you. Really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I like
Yeah.
I like discussions like that because like I like things I can just put on in the background while I work.
That
It's
was
nice.
kind of the idea. Not overwhelm us with constant updates throughout the day and nice long, like, let's get our personalities out there type thing. So,
Indeed.
yep. But yeah, Ash, I guess whenever you're set,
All right.
because I think you're the host tonight.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely Patreons.
Patreons, there you go.
Patreons, yeah. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show.
What happened? Usually
This
you
is-
nailed this.
I know. Usually I got this. It's not a problem. All right. This is what you're. Well, it's Monday, right? This is what you're
Yeah, there
paying
you
for,
go.
guys. All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and today I'm joined by Derek Bittner, Steve Bowling, and our very special guest, Scott the Waz. So let's see what's on the docket tonight. But before we get to all the news, we actually have a sponsor for this episode. We read our sponsors out every Monday episode, and of course, that sponsor is Game Explain, and they haven't sent us any updated copy yet, so we're just going to go with the copy they sent us for the first week, which was wishing you guys the best of luck on your new adventure from all of us at Game Explain. Stunt Race FX forever. So thank you again, Game Explain, and specifically Andre. We know that comes straight from you, and we appreciate the support and the well wishes. But Scott the Waz, man, this is my first time talking to you personally. Thank you so much for joining us. How's it going, man?
It's going all right. It's been a bit of a busy. It's a bit of a busy time for everybody. I don't really know anybody who's specifically like, I got nothing going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
True.
it's a bit busy. So I'm tired, but it's a pleasure to meet you and Steve for the first time. Derek, I'm familiar with.
Mhm.
I've talked to a few times. As in I did my panel at Too Many Games, and I saw him in the audience. I was just like, that's Derek. And then
That's amazing that you actually recognize it because I
Yeah.
did not show my face much at that point, and it was just sort of like, I'll make an appearance here and there. But I remember that panel. You packed the house. Two, unsurprisingly. Two, I think you're having video troubles, so you were constantly restarting the video, and it was just a constant thing of, hey all, Scott here. Hey all, Scott here.
yeah,
I think I got the opening pretty well set.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
a fun panel though. I brought trophies for people. As in I was like what was it? Like I whatever questions somebody asked me, I would have been like, okay, let's see if that qualifies for the like Get Out award or something like that. And
Yeah.
I was worried about bringing the trophies to the TSA, but they went through surprisingly, so I'm happy about that.
That's good.
But yeah, that was a fun time. That was my first and only convention I ever went to. So it's fun to cap it off there
Yeah.
and never go to a convention ever again.
I mean, TMG was the only place I've actually held a panel. Just didn't do it. I did it one year and then didn't do it since, and it was fine. It was a good time, but I don't know. I just didn't do the effort to try to do a panel again. It was just like, I want to maybe hang out with friends.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work. I wanted to do a
Doing
game
panels
show
is.
this year. If it went through, I wanted to do like a big old like the Wizard reenactment kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But that didn't turn out. So
Panels really are a lot of work. Although it does make me think about how fun it could be and the possibilities for GVG's first convention. Whenever that happens again, whenever we can venture outside into the world again, it'll be fun to go to our first show as a team, guys. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite convention to go to personally? Like what do you think would be the best introductory con for GVG?
Well, my favorite convention to work and cover is PAX West or PAX Prime, PAX West. But my favorite show to do, like my favorite vacation show is MagFest. But I don't think that would be a great one for us to cover since there's not a lot of news there. But MagFest is like my personal party for 4 days, just like go nuts, balls to the wall, and party it up for 4 days. But I think PAX West personally would be my choice, and it seems possible. Next September maybe we'll be immunized, possibly, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't have high hopes for PAX East, that's for sure.
Oh no, PAX East I think is a wash for next year. I don't think it's going to happen.
I personally like covering E3. Like it's fucking chaotic and ridiculous and but I don't know, there's something like fun about just the vibe of E3, like going to it, you know, it's the show that everyone equates with like the biggest in the game industry. It definitely isn't the friendliest show to be at. Like you're shoulder to shoulder with people the whole time. The floor is chaos, but it's something about like it's not the moments that you're at the show that are the most fun. It's the moments like after you're done for the day. Like you know, you go back, you record whatever you need to record, and then you just kick back, and something about that moment when you're done for the day at E3 feels so much better than any other convention. And just because I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, the different PAXs draw different groups of industry people, whereas everybody converges on E3. So
Sure.
whoever you know in the industry, whoever you're friends with, there's a really good chance that they're there.
So I was kind of
I
burned out
definitely-
on
yeah.
E3 at this point for obvious reasons.
Well, you've been in the damn staff
It's been a
room
bit-
for 8 years.
Yeah.
It's been a bit different for you. You've been you know, locked in the news in the media room for every E3 essentially.
So I'd be kind of
Able
curious to
go
cover
the media
E3.
room at least once. I want to go to E3 at least once before it withers
That's it.
away.
We got to get
Let
we
us-
got to get you on there. We'll just get you like, yeah, he's part of GVG. It's fine. Get him in here.
Yeah, just
I
let
just-
us know if you want
just-
if you want Scott to cover E3 for us. I'm sure he won't
I
mind.
mainly just want to film footage of me like with a microphone in front of booths and stuff talking, but the microphone isn't plugged in or anything. I don't
Nice.
even care about playing the demos.
Dude,
I
I
don't even
will
care about that.
totally help you put those up. We'll throw
That'd be
segments
great.
of our E3 wrap ups to you, like about the most important stories, and just have your audio off.
Yeah. You just hear like
So-
this giant white noise or just these crowd noises, and you just see my lips moving. And I also want to see how overpriced the food courts are.
Oh, they're
Uh-huh.
bad.
See,
They're bad.
Oh,
I want to spend
Awful.
$50
They're
on fries.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will.
Plus, you get a free side of doxing now. They dox you for free after
Oh,
you pay
yeah.
out the nose for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was-
that's kind of what soured me on
was
E3 was getting doxed by the ESA. Like I still
Yeah.
love E3, I guess, but after that, I don't really miss it as much.
Haven't
but
we all
Yeah,
moved
I
since that
I do
happened
agree
too?
with Steve,
That
though.
was
Yes.
last year. Yeah, last year when that happened, it happened on like a Friday or something around there, Friday night, and I was working on a video on E3 1999. I was like, I'll wait to put this out. Why this weekend? Of
Oh,
all
it was on
weekends?
E3.
Just E3 1999. I talked about E3 1999. I decided to talk about that the weekend.
I love that.
Everybody got doxxed, and I was like, all right, I'll delay this
That-
a couple weeks because I didn't want
This
people to
totally-
be like, oh wow, you're capitalizing on people getting doxxed. I'm like, why would I do that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. This
But it's
totally
like,
ages me. But that was my second ever E3, I believe. My first E3 was 1998. So if
Wow.
if
So,
there is an
okay,
E3 next
so
year,
I
it'll be my
assume-
22nd one, I guess. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
assume you did not get in like with like a media like whatever. You weren't covering it. It was more so like you could get in like
So
just,
my very first year, I was not covering. I got in through my dad because he had connections through Warner Brothers because he did a minor role in Kingdom Hearts 1. And he's a voice actor. He works on various things, but he was able to get me in as a minor at the time through his connections at Warner Brothers. But then from the second year on, I actually was covering it as like an amateur game journalist for various
Yeah.
small time websites, and then. Yeah,
Nice,
so from the
yeah.
second year on, but yeah, I'll never forget my first big thing at E3 was seeing Final Fantasy VIII, the Final Fantasy VIII demo at the Square
Yeah.
Soft booth, and that was like, I waited in line like for 4 hours to play FF8.
Oh my
It was,
God.
I'll never
weird.
forget
I
it.
think-
Yeah,
was that the same year they had the FF8 demo, but then they also showed off like a demo. It might have been FF9 or something like that, but they showed off a demo of like Final Fantasy running on the PS2 the exact same year or something like that.
Did they? They might have.
yeah.
They were like, it was like they showed off like the ballroom scene from Final Fantasy VIII, maybe, but it was like rendered like. It
I
was
know what you're
on
talking
PS2.
about.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
or maybe
know what you're
it might have
talking
been
about.
like
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 9. I just thought that was kind of weird. It's kind of like when they did Skyward Sword at E3 like 2011, but then they were like, "Oh, but here's HD Zelda on the Wii U" as like a tech demo kind of thing. It's just like it's always funny when they do kind of stuff like that. Just
It's funny.
like
I'm trying to remember what my dad had worked on. Because of course, Kingdom Hearts wasn't until 2001, and I went in 1998. So I know it was from I think it was someone through Warner Brothers, and I don't know who that. Of course, that's not Disney, so I don't know who.
Did
it would have been,
Animaniacs
yeah.
have a PS1 game?
No, it was only SNES, Game Boy, and Genesis for Animaniacs.
And they probably don't have
So,
like
yeah.
did they have like voice recordings in that, or was it just like
No, they didn't even have voice recordings. Yeah. In fact, I was
Yeah.
looking through footage of the Animaniacs games yesterday because I was putting together a little promo reel for a show that my dad and I host together called Game That Tune. And we did an Animaniacs reboot celebration last night, so that was a lot of fun.
So the
Um,
Final Fantasy VIII tech demo was at E3 '99.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
the
that
exact
would've
year
been-
I had to
okay.
delay?
Oh,
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That year,
remember it was
too
such a
scared to
big
make
deal.
video on.
Yeah.
Dreamcast and Final Fantasy VIII released 9/9/99.
I'll never forget it. Yeah, that's true. And I was one of the ones whose Dreamcast was, or Sonic Adventure disc was bricked. Remember Sega like released a bunch of Sonic Adventure discs that straight up didn't work.
So lovely of
No.
them.
And that's total Sega. Yeah, they
Speaking-
had a whole swath of discs that just didn't work.
Speaking of new consoles, I know we're supposed to talk about news, but can I just vent for a second about
Go for it.
Please.
I did not secure any of the new console pre-orders. Instead, I decided
Same.
to get Mario Kart Live or whatever, and I played that for an hour. But
Okay.
yeah, but I just didn't personally I didn't care enough to be like scouring like social media to be like, okay, I'm gonna wait till like this goes live and then boom boom boom. Like I was just like, when I
Same.
get it, I'll get it.
Hmm.
But like 2 nights ago, Kohl's decided to put up a PS5 with an extra DualSense controller and Spider-Man, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that. And I found out that you can immediately like check out stuff like through your phone with Apple Pay. It just immediately just checks you out. You don't even have to sign in. It just knows like your address and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I did that, and it said your order is confirmed, and I got an email saying your order is confirmed. And I was just like, oh wow! And I saw a bunch of other people like the next day saying my order got canceled. I was like, my order didn't get canceled. This is amazing. I might get a PS5.
Nice.
Nope. 3 a.m. came around last night.
Oh
And,
no.
I got
Oh,
an email that my order got canceled. I don't know why it took that long for them to do that.
Oh,
But I-
why?
But I already bought Demon's Souls from Best Buy. in
Oh no.
preparation. So now
Oh,
I have
man.
games coming for a console I can't play. So
One doesn't simply cancel Scott the frickin' Waz's PS5 pre-order, man.
Do you know who I am?
Cancel your
does.
order? Yeah.
Kohl's does. I specifically decided like, no, I'm not gonna pre-order a PS5. I'm gonna wait till it gets in stock at Kohl's. And
Yeah.
it did not go through well for me. So, but the bright side is you get a bunch of Kohl's cash for doing that, apparently. So I have $180 from Kohl's cash that I get to keep for free.
So the
So
next
it's
time it
like-
happens, it's a cheaper
I've
PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all I
Um,
have to do is wait 8 years for the PS5 to get a price drop, and then I'll be good.
Is
So, yeah.
Is this whole situation as bad as the Wii days? Because I just hear maybe it's because Twitter's
the Wii
around
days,
it.
I remember being just
No.
horrible.
Mm.
Horrible. My parents don't even
Yeah.
know my parents didn't even know what a Wii was, and they were showing up to GameStops asking for one, and they were always like, no. Like it was. I think
Yeah.
they did pay a scalper on eBay for it.
I waited
I-
overnight for a Wii at Target. I think I
Yeah.
waited overnight. Yeah.
Really?
I got mine
Yeah.
in like 2008. So
I worked
think-
at Target back when the Wii came out, and I'm sorry, I had friends that worked at Target. I worked at a GameStop part time when the Wii came out, and it was unbearable. Like I had to, even though I worked
Mhm.
at the GameStop I bought my Wii from, I had to go outside and wait for like 6 hours to pre-order the Wii.
Oh.
Like they had a line for the pre-order, and then when my girlfriend at the time wanted one for her place, I had to camp outside of Target for like overnight, and this was months after released to get one. So I
jeez.
mean I see PS5s pop up in stock, like if you're really like on it. Like Wario 64 tweets out once or twice a day that PS5s are in stock someplace. So I don't think it's
Cool.
nearly as constrained as the Wii, but you have to be obsessive about trying to find it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've been-
I'll
games.
find one when I
There's
find
only-
one.
There's only one exclusive, and is it really exclusive? Where it's like Demon Souls? Like I
Yeah.
I could buy that for the PS3. It's not gonna look that great, but
Yeah.
like it's or no Godfall. Never mind. That's
Oh yeah, that's where it's at. Godfall is the system seller.
right
there.
Yeah.
There you go.
I am ready for the PS5 though. I do want to highlight Steve. Thanks partially to Steve, his recommendation. I picked up a Black Friday deal on a new 65-inch 4K TV over the weekend, and he recommended it to me. And so, dude, you are so right. I had a particularly cushy tax refund, and so I was able to get this 65-inch LG C10 for about $900.
Refund in November. What the fuck?
Yeah, I filed for an extension. It was a weird tax year for me. Yeah. So, but it worked out. It literally came in the same time this Black Friday deal went up. So I got this crazy new 4K TV for $900 essentially.
Wow.
And so I got an incredible deal. So I'm ready for the PS5 whenever I find one. I don't know when it's going to happen, but Steve, man, you were so right. This thing looks amazing. And also, happy marriage, man! Congratulations on getting married.
Thank you.
We got
Mazel
Decided to pick up a wife over the weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Had to-
It was about time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you
we're
want
very
to
happy,
talk
thank
about
you.
trials for PS5 though? I follow Jay Witz on Twitter. That poor guy has been working so hard to get one. It's just constant trials of nope, didn't get it. Nope, didn't get it.
Yeah.
Nope, didn't get it.
Yeah, I'll get one when I get one. But in the meantime, I can live vicariously through Steve, who continues flexing on us every
Oh yeah, the PS5
single
in the background.
episode.
Look at
Yeah,
that. It's the size
I
of
love
like at least 4 newborns together.
Yeah,
Like, if you
that's
stack
my
four
whole
newborns, that's
arm
what it is.
basically.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of like, yeah, I could get that and then I could replace my PS4 Pro, but that's gonna take up a big spot. Like, I don't know.
I have to
might wanna
wonder,
wait till I
'cause-
move out.
I mean, everything I know of Scott's like game room is from his video about his game room. And so I just picture like a desk with a bottle of Pepto on it, a blue wall,
Yeah.
and
300
some
NES
shelves.
games in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Two
there you
Wii
go.
U's. 2 Wii U's in the box.
Hey,
Of course.
I feel you there. I have a Japanese and an American Wii U for no good reason.
Yep.
That's
I
a
love it.
Japanese Wii U down there too. It's a Mario Maker one.
I used that
Nice.
Japanese Wii U to play Hyrule Warriors early and Xenoblade Chronicles X early. Couldn't understand a freaking thing going on, but I played them.
Here's a European Wii U. We're three for 3 here.
And
That-
that one said,
because why not?
That was me on 3DS. I had to.
I had to play Wii Dare. That was it
Yeah,
was a European
Oh,
exclusive.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was in
European
bed on my
exclusive?
wedding night watching that video.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wow.
I was like, this
It's
is
a
good-
to
yeah.
set the mood.
Yeah,
It's a good
right.
honeymoon video. It's a good honeymoon video. No, it's it's the Wii game. It's the Wii game for sexy couples, and it only released in Europe. And it's not that sexy. That's my biggest takeaway from that. It was so disappointing. It's not that sexy. But I also I got a few other European Wii games that I'm like, oh yeah, this would be cool. I got Disaster Day of Crisis.
Oh yeah.
So
That's a great game.
that's gonna be
Ooh,
cool
okay.
to give a try. Yeah, and then there's I don't know, Wii Chess. That's another one. That's the
don't even think I
Nintendo
knew that
published
existed.
chess game.
Yeah.
It's one of the only Wii branded games like Wii Sports that didn't come out in North America. And it's a terrible chess game. It's horrible. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know what they were doing. You don't even use the pointer. You use the D-pad to move your pieces.
Really?
It's not even 3D.
Wow.
It's all 2D.
Why?
It's all 2D. I don't know. It's just
I don't
chess.
get that.
Like there's nothing else. It's just chess. It's literally like a Windows
yeah.
built-in chess game. It's fun. Nintendo in Europe is
weird.
funny. Nintendo in Europe is funny, mainly
Uh-huh.
based on like what they name their Mario and Luigi games too.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's
the
just-
Dream Team Bros
silly.
and the Paper Jam Bros.
That
Why?
was so.
Why?
Yeah, why? Dream Team was so much better.
I only
Why
knew
the
that
Dream
just
Team?
because
Yeah.
they came out in Europe earlier. So all of a sudden, like the only difference is
Are
they
they
had Bros
brothers?
at the end of the title, and they had U's in every everywhere it shouldn't be, like favorite and all that.
Everywhere it
Yeah.
shouldn't
So
be.
I think Kirby's Return to Dreamland was called Kirby Adventure Wii, or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
you're right,
It was
yeah.
Kirby's Adventure Wii.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair, that
and-
works, I guess, but it's also it's not the prettiest title.
It's also just a crappy name compared to Return to Dreamland. And as Jared Edinger pointed out in the chat, Duck Hunt became Duck Hunt Duo,
which is a better name.
And
Yeah.
well,
That's a
it
better
is,
name.
except when you consider the fact that the trailer itself for Duck Hunt confirms it's a trio. It's the duck, it's the dog, and the person shooting the zapper. It's a Duck Hunt trio.
That's
To be
too
fair,
metatextual.
when you have it, when you have it on the character select screen, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, "Where's the third?" Like they
No, I
wouldn't
know.
really get it.
Yeah.
Immediately.
True.
So we're just
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I wish they would have given the dog a name or something like that, instead of just like, yeah, his name is
I
Duck
agree.
Hunt.
Yeah, I
Instead of
totally
just
agree.
like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Duck Hunt, Dog and Duck. Duck Hunt, Dog and Duck. That's the
No,
I mean,
Wow.
We got the duck and we got
why is
Hunt.
Rosalina and Luma called Rosalina and Luma? Just call it Rosalina.
Yeah.
It's just like that's it.
Yeah.
Or like
Or Rosaluma.
they called Olimar in the early days of Smash Wii U Pikmin and Olimar.
Yeah, I
I'm just
remember
like,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sure. Like
Uh-huh.
you're not wrong, but
No.
But why call them that? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, amazingly, we do actually have news to discuss today. We've been having such a great time discussing various miscellaneous topics. We actually haven't gotten to the news yet, but there's a little announcement you may have heard today if you're a fan of Square Enix, and that is the fact that The World Ends With You is getting a sequel, finally, after all these years. It's called Neo, The World Ends With You. Square Enix announced it with a trailer. It's coming to PS4 and Switch next summer, and we've got new protagonists. But it does take place in Shibuya still, so it's a kind of a mix of the old and a mix of the new. Derek, you've been kind of looking into this all day, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, my first thing was like, okay, I got to do a discussion, and then I literally like couldn't find anybody. Like I contacted Lady Pelvic, she was having internet troubles. Contacted Clemps, for those who know who near stuff, and he was interested, but he was also super busy for the day. And then I think, were passed out for most of the day because of just life.
I was up all late or all night last night because my wife wasn't feeling well. So yeah.
So I didn't really have anybody I could.
You got me. The world's biggest World Ends With You.
Yep, the person who's the most into RPGs. But
Yeah.
so I ended up like, okay, I got to do something with this, because I was like taking notes, like so I could be well informed on this, because it's been a little bit while. Rewatched all the cutscenes from the final remix stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing an analysis. We're not calling it it's not going to be named an analysis, and I didn't really expect to do any analyses on Good Vibes, but screw it. I played this game constantly in college. I loved the soundtrack so much that I, one, bought it on iTunes when I never bought anything else on iTunes at the time. And two, when I played the game, I'd actually take my computer speakers and just plug it into the DS so I could have it go through my speakers and really enjoy the soundtrack. So yeah, I was definitely all for this. And there's some interesting stuff in here. Some weird stuff in here as far as possibilities, because freaking Nomura being part of this, and they're like, all I'll say is, and I've seen other people mention this on Twitter, very possible Kingdom Hearts connection.
You think so? Okay, I haven't looked
Possible.
too much into it, but that is very interesting. If so, given what we know of how things.
I mean, it's not the
go
first
on for
time
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sora has met these characters, so
Right. Well, so there are. It looks like there are a couple of returning characters, right? But the main trio we're seeing in the trailer they're all new characters.
well, actually, the main trio, but it's a party of
Main
4.
trio.
That's the other thing is that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it much yet, Ash, but you got.
I've watched a trailer, but I didn't finish the first game, so I don't have as much context for the story as you do. Yeah.
Minami Moto, the math guy who started the sort of meme for the game Zeta Slow. You're so Zeta Slow, is actually a party member in this game, and
Interesting. Okay.
Karaya is back as a Reaper, of course, and then the mystery girl that's been showing up in like Final Remix is in the trailer as well. We got a name for her. So yeah,
Nice, okay.
it's funny to see Scott and Steve just be like, I
I was
don't
gonna
give
say
a
I
shit.
identify deeply with
just
Scott
hearing
just kind of
words.
scanning his surroundings.
Mhm.
I'm just
Like,
hearing words. Like,
Pretty much.
Well,
I don't know what they mean.
All I can tell you is you fight with pins in Shibuya, and it has a
I
rockin'
played
soundtrack.
30 minutes of The World Ends With You, thank you.
I
thought
get
had
it.
full style. I played it on the Switch in docked mode, though. So I'm scared for life.
Yeah. It should
Don't
play better
blame
this
you.
time around. Since it's actually made for this system, it
Oh, no,
should
I
play a
think-
little better.
I think it's awesome that it's finally happening because like it feels like for like a decade it's just constantly like Square Enix has never blatantly said like, oh no, we're not going to do a World Ends With You sequel because it's too niche or something like that. Like no, they've generally kind of hinted it like very frequently. They're always like, oh yeah, you know, the
Yeah.
story's not over yet and stuff like that. And I don't know why it took this long. I think that's a really fun thing about this generation is that it feels like these companies like Square Enix are. I feel like they have more realistic expectations with how like these kind of smaller franchises are supposed to do instead of like I don't know, like a generation ago. I remember like I think the famous example was like, oh, Tomb Raider only sold 5 million copies, but it needed to sell 7 million or
Yeah.
something like that. So it's a failure. I feel like they're allowing for more kind of like smaller franchises like The World Ends With You, which has a huge fan base, but it only had one game, so it's just like, you know, how much can you do with it? But it's also like I think it's awesome that they're finally doing something with it. It's weird it took this long. It's interesting that it's PS4 instead of like PS5, but it's also like you can play it on PS5, so you know, who cares?
Yeah.
It's also interesting that they went with like a 3D style this time, and the battle system is how much different is it compared to the original? Because the original required like, you know, the touchscreen.
Yeah.
This one is obviously all 3D, and you know, is it quite a bit different, or can you see like the connections with it?
It's honestly really hard to say because it's, from what I can tell, it's flashy but not complicated as far as what they're showing. Like they're showing off a bunch of different attacks and they look cool, and they're kind of 3D interpretations of many of the attacks that you saw in the 2D games. But there's no indication of like in the 3DS version you had to swipe across Neku in order to have him do a certain attack or tap the enemy or, you know, all kinds of different stylish motions in order to activate them all. And there's no indication that that's the case here. So I think it's probably more of a simplification while getting the meat and potatoes of the system into 3D. It really feels like Square Enix has learned the value of mid-budget titles. You know, it's all that kind of with, I think probably Trials of Mana to me is a mid-budget title, not like super low, but you know, there's at least some expectations there. It's not like what are those games like the one that was supposed to be Chrono Trigger like in battle system and didn't do that well.
I Am Setsuna.
Yeah, I Am Setsuna. Those are low budget Square Enix
What's the
games to
sequel
me.
to that? Lost Spear.
Lost
Yes.
Sphere, and then there was Oninaki, which they weren't actually sequels; they were just, you know, Tokyo
A
RPG
spiritual
Factory
successor.
spiritual. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But you know, speaking of Chrono Trigger, I agree with what you guys are saying. Square Enix seems like they're learning the value of mid-budget titles. Trials of Mana, the Neo World Ends With You. Great. Where's Chrono Break then? Can we have that, please, now, finally, after all this time? Like, or anything Chrono related, please? Like, what? Where is it? Where is it?
I would like you see I could see them very much porting Chrono Trigger the PC version to Switch, but the problem is it's just I don't know, Square Enix in those damn just disgusting looking like new versions of old games. I hate how the Dragon Quest games look. They look disgusting. I was just like ugh.
Yeah.
Like but you know.
Oh, we're totally
I
going to
think-
get the Steam version of Chrono Trigger on Switch for $24.99, and we're going to have to like it. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think Square Enix has said they don't want to stop until they put pretty much their entire back catalog on new platforms. Didn't they say that at some point? They're like, yeah,
They
we
did,
wanna,
I
we
think.
wanna,
Yeah.
I could have sworn they're at the very least they were like, yeah, we want to make our entire backlog available on like new platforms, and I'm like, I like that. I like that incentive.
Because everybody
or
begs for
initiative.
Chrono Trigger. I don't know if we're going to get a Chrono Break until they actually re-release Chrono Cross. That's the telling point to me because they have not acknowledged Chrono Cross in how many years?
It's weird. I don't know. This is coming from an outsider, of course. But to me, it feels like the Chrono series is significantly more popular than the Mana series. Would you say that's like true?
I think that's
or-
true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird because the Mana series has had so much more support. There's the fact that they were willing to not only localize the original Trials of Mana, but they remade it entirely. Like both of them, they did both.
Yeah.
But they're not
And
even they haven't even put Chrono Trigger on like the actual home consoles like recently.
It really
It's
is
really
odd.
weird.
it feels like they don't know what to do with it. I wonder if they don't feel like it's worth doing anything with unless they can get the dream team back together, which that's not going to happen. So I don't know, but clearly there's a lot of latent love for Chrono continuing on today, and it's just so weird that they won't touch it. But I do think we're going to get Chrono Trigger on Switch Steam version for like $25. That sounds like a very Square thing.
You hate me every time I bring this up, but I am still crossing my fingers we get Chrono Trigger remade in like the Dragon Quest XI engine. I think that would be gorgeous.
I would love that. I don't hate you for bringing that up. I would love to see that.
No, I give you hope for something that'll never happen.
Oh, you give me hope for it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because playing through Dragon Quest XI, one of the things I was thinking of was like, oh my god, Chrono Trigger could work so perfectly, literally in this exact art style, and 3Dified and everything. But what are you gonna do, right?
Not
Neo
much.
is not the news we have. Dropped a new trailer for the anime. I also watched, and it looks really nice.
Poor
It looks
Scott.
really
We're
nice.
combining
I
two
know
of
we don't
his
have too
favorite
much
things,
to
RPGs and anime.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just wanted to.
No,
I'll gloss over.
I found
I just want to say I'm happy that I was
about this.
Yeah.
I was happy that I was right about this.
Honestly, if you don't want to worry about the gameplay, the anime looks like a pretty decent adaptation. Might be just easier to watch this. And even though Mora jumped onto the anime's Twitter account to promote Neo, since World Ends With You does not have its own Twitter account. And it was just like, hey, yeah, this comes out in April and the game comes out in the summer, so watch the anime, play the sequel. I think that's really the plan they have.
One thing I want to point out here is that Scott has a very funny video about trying to get into anime, and it's one of my favorites on his entire channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Nice.
haven't watched that one, but I'm
Well,
afraid to ask
to be
which one he
fair,
attempted to watch.
To be fair, I thought it was hilarious because I woke up today and I saw like, oh yeah, because I remember seeing something about like, oh, Square Enix is doing a World Ends With You countdown. And I was like, they're probably just going to announce something like anime related. And that's all they did initially. And I was like, yeah. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They did it again. No, they actually announced a new game, which I just realized there's also, I just remembered it has the same name as it's just like, is there any reason for the name Neo at this point? Or is it just like, do you guys know?
It's Square Enix.
Because it's just like, I bought the game Neo 2. I bought the game Neo 2 on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Black Friday deal. I'm just like, oh, wow. They both named the same thing. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
you guys can proceed talking about the anime.
No,
Oh no, there's not a whole lot
there's
to
really
say.
not
It
much
looks
else to
really
say
nice.
beyond that.
Yeah, and Neo looks cool, but I think we've certainly talked about enough The World Ends With You for now. So let's switch gears, or is that double gears, to a new story I know you do want to discuss, Scott, and that is regards Capcom releasing a mini arcade system that's packed with a curious selection of Mega Man and Street Fighter games, and it's coming out this Christmas in Japan. This news comes by way of Nintendo Life via Silicon Era, and so basically this thing is like it's about 4 pounds. It's like a little mini arcade unit with its own screen. And now this is the weird part though. The games it comes with, get ready for this: Mega Man: The Power Battle, Mega Man 2: The Power Fighters, Mega Man X, Mega Man Soccer, Mega Man and Bass, the Japanese Super Famicom version, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. So this is a really interesting lineup of games for this thing. I really would like to know how they selected these, because usually, they just Mega Man 1 through 6, Street Fighter 2 various versions, and that's it. But this is like the first ever re-release of Mega Man Soccer that I think we've ever had.
I guess
They
these
just
are
scrubbed
more.
your Twitter feed.
Was it a weird virtual console Wii release? It probably wasn't. I'm just trying to think.
I'm not sure, but
I don't think it's ever been re-released. I could be wrong, but I don't think it has.
honestly, you
Doesn't
could
look like
toss
it.
in Mega Man Battle and Chase, and you have a third Legacy collection there.
That's true. Yeah.
That was my
I'm-
biggest problem with the legacy collections for Mega Man. They could have thrown in like they had to do base, and they could have done like
Yeah.
the Game Boy titles. They could have done the Game Gear one.
Hmm.
They could have done like these like
The
they
Game
could
Gear
have just completed up. They could have just made it this like full blown one, but instead like it's just like they're still good collections, but it's just like there's just those
Yeah.
little things missing that I'm just like, oh man, they could have done.
Well,
Like,
They should do like the equivalent of the Sonic Gems collection, but for Mega Man with like those weird, like
But
Mega Man
I
Bass
have my problems with
Yeah.
that collection. That collection was just Sonic
Sure.
CD and a bunch of garbage. It's,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
it's just
Hey, I like the Game
It
Gear
was-
games, all right? Well, most
okay, but it's just like
8-bit Sonic 2.
those were included. Those were included in every single like kind of collection kind of thing. Okay, you had like Sonic
I
Mega
gotcha.
Collection Plus, and then like
Yeah.
Adventure DX. Had a
Yeah,
few of them.
Adventure DX, you could
Yep.
unlock them.
Yeah.
They
Right,
found
right.
every excuse to throw Game Gear games at you. Like it wasn't
Take them,
it wasn't
please.
yeah. No, this is
So,
these miniature console kind of deals are always interesting at first, but this one, it's really weird. Like I'm just trying to see the
Right?
purpose of it. I'm just like I think it looks really neat because it kind of reminds me of like a lot of like the standard, like a lot of those arcade cabinets you see in Japan, where it's just like the big like just bulbous screen and just
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Oh, I just realized it looks like Mega Man. I don't know why. Why did it take me that long?
Didn't actually realize that
Oh,
either.
man.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
I mean, it kind of does. I mean, like,
Kinda
like
does.
the
I think it's
bolts
more
on-
I think it's more
Yeah,
the
it's-
color scheme, right? The blue and yellow Capcom.
No,
color
it's
scheme.
definitely
Yeah.
the things on the sides for me, like the
Oh, the
Capcom
ear
logos on either
things?
side that look
Yeah,
like
I
his
see what you
ears.
mean.
Yeah.
I got you.
But it's
yeah.
like, I don't know. Do you guys feel like the miniature console scene is definitely dying out, and like these
Yes.
kind of feel like a lot weirder and weirder as time goes on? Where it's just like, if you're gonna do this, why why these
Why
games?
this?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why? Because like this could be like legitimately cool. Like they could have like 20 of like they could have picked like why Mega Man X? I mean,
Yeah,
Mega
that
Man X
is that
great,
does feel like
but
the
it's
weird
just like
one.
why?
But why? Yeah, this particular
these-
selection of games is so
Yeah,
weird.
And like
Yeah.
something like Street Fighter 2, is that going to be the arcade version? I assume it is, but it's just like just the fact that they have console games as well. It's really weird.
You want to know
Yeah.
the thing that irks me the most about this is it has the Mega Man. It has a Mega Man X Street Fighter logo or Mega Man Cross Street Fighter logo on it, but does not include the officially released Mega Man Cross Street Fighter game. Like,
I don't know if
That's
they'll ever
true.
acknowledge that game again. I'll be honest.
Yeah. That's
It's
funny, though, that-
official, but not
yeah.
official. It's weird.
Mm.
It's weird. It's weird how that happens because it's just like, oh, Capcom published it. It's not official though.
No.
It's just like,
Yeah,
but it's
that's fair.
official, but it's not
Yeah.
official. It's always really weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird selection, and also like for the price, this is like what is this $200? Yeah, this is like $200.
So it's yeah. It doesn't
You only get,
currently have
like-
pricing information, but yeah, apparently it previously said $210, which is
yeah.
way too much.
Which I mean, like
Yeah.
what? Like 10 games? How many games are we talking here? Like 1, 2,
10
3,
games.
4, 5. No, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
That's
right?
not worth it.
But
It's-
Mega
it's
Man
cool.
Soccer, man.
Well, yeah.
I'm kidding.
You
It's
got
not,
me
I wouldn't
there.
pay
You got
21
me
cents for
there.
Mega Man
Okay.
Soccer. Like, yeah.
I'd pay $1.
Fair enough.
I'll
Fair
give
enough.
it a bit of a. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But no, like okay, so like these miniature consoles, like after the SNES Classic, I just feel like they've significantly died off in terms of just popularity. Where it's just like even the Genesis Mini when that came out, like people care, but it just people didn't really care. Like it was like that kind of like half like okay, people care, but they don't really. It's because
Yeah.
we've seen all these Genesis miniature consoles
Hmm.
before, and then the TurboGrafx 16 came out, but it's the TurboGrafx 16. It's cool, but it's super niche,
Yeah.
and like the PlayStation Classic just absolutely just floundered.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Mhm.
just, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like people like will buy this as a collectible, but nothing else. And like I don't know if this is specifically modeled after a specific Capcom arcade cabinet. If it is, that's cool. But if it isn't, then that kind of makes it even less desirable because it's kind of like
Yeah.
that's kind of half of the reason to have these miniature consoles is to have this mini cute version of a bigger thing on your shelf.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird. Like if this was like 100, that's pushing it, but still like, like
That's
sure,
kind of
but
cool
it's
for the
just
form
like-
factor type thing.
Yeah.
You know, though,
Yeah.
I'm with Scott on this one because Sega's releasing their own like mini arcade on December 17th in Japan, the Astro City Mini, which does look like a Japanese Sega cabinet, and it has like 37 games.
Mm, and it's
For
only $100.
$140.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's like, how
Which
does
makes a lot more
Capcom get away with this dismal number of games for that price?
And why are like a couple of the games console games? Because it's just like I don't know. It's kind of like if the NES Classic Edition included like the arcade version of Rygar, just randomly.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Like it's just like okay, like it's retro, sure. Like I guess it fits, but it doesn't. It's like this weird thing, and like this reminds me of like like I think like at games, like AT games, however you want to pronounce it, they're doing like this. They're releasing like these big arcade games to kind of like combat with like the arcade one-up stuff, where it's like these kind of like at-home arcade games. But they include stuff like Disney SNES and Genesis games on there, and Atari console games, like Atari 2600 games. I'm like, that's lame. Like, why would I want that on an arcade cabinet?
Yeah.
Why would I want our Mega Man X here? Like, I don't get it.
It's
It's
really
kind of
weird.
neat, but still.
The funny thing is,
Yeah.
Nintendo could have kept this trend going for the mini consoles if they had done like an N64 classic. It's really weird they didn't, because people wanted that.
Game Boy would have been
I mean,
rad.
Game
I
Boy
would've
one
loved
as well,
a Game
yeah.
Boy Classic. That would have been, because like N64, that stuff gets re-released at least every generation. Like, you know, it doesn't get re-released as much as SNES or NES, but it gets re-released enough. Game Boy, like the only time that stuff got re-released was with like the 3DS Virtual Console. I'm down to play like Alleyway again, or just like
Alleyway's
random-
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
kind of like, even if like the old Game Boy games, like, you know, like Game Boy Golf or baseball, like, yeah, they aren't that great, but it's just like you don't see them as much as like the NES Black Box stuff. So I think that would be pretty cool. This stuff, most of these games, like you get all the time, where it's just like most of the Street Fighter 2s, you know, Mega Man X, even like. I mean, like, when was the last time Power Battle and Power Fighters were re-released?
I think on
Like,
PS2.
I think it was
Anniversary
the
collection?
the anniversary collections. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess, because it's just like it's been a while. But
Yeah.
I'd rather have them in the form of like re-release them in like how Capcom did like the beat 'em up bundle, just do like a collection of like the Mega Man
Exactly.
arcade games.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
Yeah,
just
this
because
just
you're
doesn't make
re-releasing it
sense.
through this method, this is such like a weird method to like, oh well, they're re-released, well they're only re-released via this weird console.
I think that's
In
why it's only
Japan
come out in Japan.
only.
Yeah.
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 They can get away with it in
but
the
you guys
Japanese
are-
market.
You guys are aiming low. I still want a Saturn Mini. That's the mini console I want. It'll never
Oh, yeah.
happen.
Whoa.
But that's the one. I would pay good money for a Saturn Mini.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
would
hoping for the
be-
Sega Ages line to get to Saturn and Dreamcast games.
I know.
Nope.
By
They
and
did
large,
Sonic 2, that was good enough.
yeah,
That
I
was
think
good enough. We don't get enough Sonic 2.
No.
I think
Yeah.
the mini console market basically belongs to Nintendo. I think if they
At this point,
launched an
I agree.
N64 Mini, it would revitalize interest.
Yeah.
I would pick one up for sure, and I think a lot of people would. But
Oh,
I think
so many
that-
people would.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
a Dreamcast Mini could do marginally better than the Genesis Mini did. But I think Nintendo really kind of has this nostalgia cornered.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like Dreamcast Mini would kind of do as well as like the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. Like, honestly, where it's very niche, but it's also like you'll get some people who never played the Dreamcast, because so many people just talk so highly of the Dreamcast because of its amazing library. So I think you'd get a lot of people curiously
Yeah.
buying it for that.
That's
But like, man, that would take so much more effort and so much more licensing and all of that. Even though Sega really went above and beyond with licensing on the Genesis Mini.
Oh
There
man,
was-
the
yeah.
fact that we
like, they
finally
had
got
Disney games. Yeah, they
Bloodlines
had
re-released, that's
Castlevania,
crazy.
yeah, Contra Hardcore. It was Tetris went on there. They didn't
Oh,
even get
yeah.
Tetris on the NES Mini or the NES Classic.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
true.
Crazy.
Well, and it was
but it's
also
just
the
like,
first ever release of Mega Man: The Wily Wars off
yeah.
the Sega Channel.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. I love that. And you know, they really went
Yeah.
above and beyond for that kind of stuff. But it's just like, you know, the Sega just absolutely just completely just stretched the Genesis brand thin over the past few years, where it's just like,
They
if you,
really
if
have,
you release
yeah.
re-release something Genesis related, nobody's gonna care that much. Honestly, like
Yep.
it's just like there's been so many re-releases and collections and just all of this stuff and the at game stuff that it's just like
Yeah.
it's not going to do as well. It just won't do
Except for Sonic 3. And I still don't get why they won't just re-release Sonic 3 with the
as well.
non-MJ music tracks that we knew now were composed for the original Sonic 3 before they were replaced with the MJ tracks.
It's even
Like,
weirder because
it's
I
so
think
weird.
I think that game's backwards compatible on Xbox One, is it? Or Sonic and Knuckles
It
might be.
Maybe.
Maybe it's Sonic and Knuckles.
The last time I
Yeah.
saw-
It's
think they
that's just
re-released-
Like, then what's the problem then? If
Yeah.
it's backwards compatible on Xbox One, you have to get. I think they have to do a lot of re-licensing to make something backwards compatible on Xbox One.
Mm.
So it's just like, why? Like, I don't understand
Yeah.
it. It's really bizarre. At least if I was Sega, I would just like, I just pay the premium, just get it for good. Just be like, yeah, okay, we license this for at least the next
Mhm.
like 2 decades.
Yeah.
At least then it's just like, then
Yeah.
you'll make your money back and then some. because
Absolutely.
every single system they're gonna
Yeah.
re-release it for like $5. So it's just like
I
people
feel
are
like
gonna
they
constantly rebuy it.
could do okay with the Dreamcast just because there's, as you said, there's enough latent interest in those games that I know I missed out on. But a system with the both Sonic Adventure games, Crazy Taxi, Power Stone, Soul Calibur, Choo Choo Rockets, House of the Dead, who knows what else, but just so many
Yeah.
really great Dreamcast games they could get on there.
They have to have like a USB slot for the I mean, like the Genesis Mini had a USB for the controllers, but then you could plug in a USB keyboard. You could have Typing of the Dead, which would be
Oh,
pretty
there you
rad.
go.
There'd be a lot of
Yeah.
cool
Oh,
stuff like
nice. Typing of the Dead.
As much as I hate to admit it, if they do a Saturn Mini, Sega 100% go bankrupt. Like they're just that is.
Oh, I
that
know.
will not
Oh,
do-
how
that
time
will
just
not-
is a.
in Japan it'll do very well, but
Mhm.
like if they do it here, oof, that I think if they would do a Saturn Mini, it would only be in Japan. I'm pretty
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
'cause they didn't even do Game Gear Micro.
Oh, I think so.
over
I
here.
mean, I would be happy to import it, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Arkwing in the chat says Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast Mini would be awesome, and holy hell, do I ever agree? I
You would love
literally,
that, Steve.
Evernight Studio,
I-
Skies of Arcadia, of
How
course.
many mini consoles have internet access? Like,
Don't think any.
Yeah, so they could
Yeah, I
do
don't think
something
any of
cool
them
with it. They could do something cool with that.
yeah, that would be pretty,
Well-
pretty awesome.
Well, speaking of classic consoles, one of the most important classic consoles of all time just celebrated its 30th birthday over the weekend, and that is the Super Famicom, which originally released on November 21st, 1990 in Japan. So on Saturday, this little guy turned 30 years old, and I don't know about you guys, but I can still say confidently that it is still my favorite console of all time. So happy 30th birthday, Super Famicom / Super Nintendo.
I don't know if it's my
call it
favorite
my
console.
favorite.
Yeah,
I-
it's still mine,
I'm,
but it's close.
I'm like whatever 12 years old or whatever, so like I'm a GameCube baby.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
GameCube is my favorite. But the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom have some of obviously the most revolutionary games of all time, some of the most classic iconic games of all time. It's ridiculous to act like it isn't one of the
Yeah.
greatest consoles of all time. Just looking at the library,
Yeah.
what would you say your favorite, like everybody, like what your favorite Super Nintendo game is, or at least
Oh.
like a couple of your favorites?
Oof.
Hmm.
Chrono Trigger for sure. That's like a
Yeah.
top
Yeah,
5
obviously.
games of all time for me. Beyond that, I would have to say I didn't have a Super Nintendo for a long time.
Yeah, same.
I got it like right towards the end of its life, which was great because my mom had just met my dad and he bought me a Super Nintendo as like his first gift for me. And like a year
Nice.
later, I'm like, hey, there's a new Nintendo coming out and I'd like to buy that. So it's like, what a
Nice.
terrible kid. This kid sucks.
Uh-huh.
Um, and beyond that, like I played a lot of 2D anime fighting games on that thing because I was 14 and that was what I was
Okay.
into. So probably like
Did you ever
one
play
of
the
old,
Ranma
like,
fighting game?
I did. Oh well, what,
Me too.
which one? But I played
Well,
the
there's
Ranma
Hard Battle.
RPG.
Okay, I didn't play the RPG, but there was Ranma 1 Half Hard Battle, the fighting game, which was pretty good. I remember that
Ranma
being
1
pretty
Half
fun.
Hard Battle is the one that was released in America, and there was a
Yeah.
sequel, a Japan only sequel to it that I really
Right.
liked, and I can't remember
Okay.
the name of it, but I
I
liked
can't either,
the
yeah.
sequel. But I still have it somewhere around here. I played it on my Super NT the other day. and
Nice. I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, I want one of those. I really want their portable one that you can play everything on.
Oh yeah.
And
Nice.
then there's I really want the Sega Genesis one because that has Sega CD support. So that'd be
Oh,
pretty
right.
cool.
Oh yeah.
I got one of those right here
Yeah.
too.
Wow.
Steve was
My
just
mini
like
console
showing off
shelf.
with his consoles.
Yeah.
I don't. None of them are hooked up.
PS5 over at this point, man. Like I'm tired of looking at that thing.
Damn you, Coles.
I mean, I will of course co-sign on Chrono Trigger. It's both my favorite Super Nintendo game and my favorite game of all time. But also like what Mega Man X, Illusion of Gaia, Tetris Attack, Yoshi's Island. I mean, you could go on forever, right? FF6.
I have an odd affinity for Hook for the Super NES.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Nice.
I played
Nice.
a lot of that, and I was like,
Yeah.
Sony. I think Sony made that game, didn't they?
Did they?
I don't know.
Hook for the SNES. Let me see. SNES.
Oh man, the chat's coming through with all these other games. Yeah, Kirby Superstar, Donkey
Hmm.
Kong Country 2, Super Metroid. I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Super
yeah,
Nintendo
basically
is
just
fantastic.
all those, a lot of great games. I did not play them until way later because I did not grow. I had a Genesis growing up, not a SNES. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was also a Genesis baby, because I had one. I had it hand-me-down wise.
Nice.
But I experienced most of the Super Nintendo catalog through the GBA.
Same,
Mainly
same.
through the Mario Advance series. You know, played a lot of Mario World and Yoshi's Island, even though those are inferior versions.
Still
you know,
had fun.
they're tolerable. They're
Mhm.
tolerable. No, my favorite Super Nintendo game is Tetris Attack. I love Tetris Attack
So, what an
specifically.
amazing game. Yeah.
Mm.
Specifically Tetris Attack. I love Panel de Pon, but
Mhm.
I love it's just like I can just zone out to that stage 1 Yoshi's Island remix.
Yeah.
And just like oh man, all my worries
Totally
go
hear
away.
you.
If I played at the lowest speed and I just like,
Ah.
oh man, it's just like I just match blocks and it just makes me feel so emotional. I also love Family Feud SNES. That's my favorite.
I don't know if I played
that's one of
that.
I don't think I played
It's
it.
so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I like it. It's you know, it's pretty it's just Family Feud on the SNES. I'm really upset that I haven't played a lot of Super Punch Out because I love
Okay.
Punch Out. But Super
Super
Punch
Punch
Out's
Out is
always
so
the one
good.
that nobody really plays that much. So I really want to try to get more into that. And of course the DKC titles are great. I'm trying to think of anything else. I played an abnormal amount of Super Mario Kart within the past couple years, and my God, that game, I was that game literally is so much more difficult than any other Mario Kart that
So much
It
more.
really
it
is.
I'm
a
terrible.
nightmare.
Yeah.
It is a
I'm awful at the
nightmare.
original Super
Just
Mario Kart.
drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drifting. I'm like, this isn't how this is supposed to work. And it's just, yeah, it's
Drifting
it's,
feels
it's,
so
it's-
weird in that game. Yeah.
It's a lot to get used to. And you know, I love Mario World. And I played a bit of Super Metroid within the past year. I've been trying to get through that. But Mario World, I'm trying to think if I like Mario World or Yoshi's Island more. Yoshi's Island, some of the stages become a bit like long in the tooth.
Sure, that's
so Mario
fair.
World is
Later in the
yeah.
game.
Mario World is just like you just plow right through it. And as a kid, I can never get past. There was that section like Forest of Illusion where it just does a circle. And I was
Yeah,
like,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that was
What do
always
I
the stopping
do?
point. It's like, how the heck do you get out of here?
What do I do?
I don't know if I approve of how you said you've been trying to get through Super Metroid. One doesn't try to get through Super Metroid. You just
I've
sit
been
down and
busy.
devour it. No, I
I'm
know.
playing
Yeah.
Family Feud SNES.
Of course. Of
It's a
course.
good game. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
You play that
Some
with friends
fun-
and you just dick around. It's kind of funny.
Some fun trivia from the Nintendo Life article here on the Super Famicom's 30th anniversary is that the console shifted 300,000 units in hours when it launched in Japan, and it caused such chaos that the Japanese government famously requested that console manufacturers schedule their launches on weekends in the future, because November 21st was a Wednesday. And I think that also happened with Dragon Quest.
I was going to say, is that where the
essentially.
Dragon
Yeah.
Quest thing came from? Because I'm not sure. That became less and less of a thing as time goes on. So I almost wonder if that was almost like an urban legend for the Dragon Quest series.
They were
I
big
thought-
into the Tuesdays for a while over here, but
Mhm.
thankfully they've shifted over to Fridays, which is much better. It's a much better idea.
Mm.
Because I think Nintendo started doing that. They
Yeah.
started doing Friday. They originally did Sundays for some reason.
Mhm.
They originally like Sundays, and it's just like okay, you know, it's just like right when you have the entire weekend over, and then it's just like great,
Yeah.
now I can play my game. Fridays are good because then you have the whole weekend in front of you.
Mm.
Tuesdays
Right.
were always kind of weird, but that was kind of initiated by like Sonic 2.
Mhm.
But,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, keeping the focus on Nintendo for now as we roll to our next news story. Nintendo has confirmed that this comes by way of my Nintendo news. They have confirmed that Hyrule Warriors is not expected to become its own series after Age of Calamity, which I didn't know this needed to be confirmed. Was anyone really thinking that it would? I wasn't.
Don't think so.
I don't know why this
I mean,
is
like-
a thing that needed to be said, but okay.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a little weird because the original Hyrule Warriors was just this amalgamation of everything Zelda, and then this one makes sense as like, the more you think about it, it's just kind of funny how it's just like, oh, Hyrule Warriors, that was just a non-canonical little spin-off thing that was supposed to be just like a one-off little thing, and then its sequel is fully canonical, and it's more of like, you
Right.
know, it's just like fits in this kind of a universe. It's a bit of an interesting thing, but yeah, it's I don't know. Like, I think it could be kind of cool to kind of maybe focus on like singular Zelda games, but it's just like I think the only one that truly makes sense is Breath of the Wild because of just like the precedent of the story.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it's like I don't really expect them to do a third Hyrule Warriors because like what do you do? Kind of depends on what the next Zelda title is. If Breath of the Wild 2 initiates another war after like that game's over, or if it's like the next Zelda lore includes kind of a giant war like this.
Well, and also, I mean, Hyrule Warriors, especially Definitive Edition, already covered anything else you could possibly want. I would think, character-wise at least. I'm sure, yeah, you can have a new Zelda story and have that be its own game, sure. But in terms of repping Zelda characters, Definitive Edition it's already done it. I mean, you've got so many characters, even Marin from Link's Awakening, and like characters you will never see return.
Groose, though.
Oh no, that's the one thing everybody wanted.
Groose is the one. Yeah,
I
you're
like
right.
Groose, and they never added him, and I just thought that was like one of the most obvious choices.
You're right. So then we got to get Hyrule Warriors: Age of Groose in there. Let's just do it.
Do a Skyward Sword sequel.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors, the Groose is loose.
Nice. I love it.
I officially started playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity like a couple days ago. What are you guys thinking about it? I'm enjoying it so far. I think I've seen some reviews that are like 9s out of 10s. I think that's a bit high. Like I'm like it's still a Warriors game.
I think it depends on your affinity for Warriors games.
I've only played the early
about them. Yeah,
I'm mainly there for the
enjoy
story,
them.
to be honest.
Yeah,
like
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's just weird because Breath of the Wild is so the story wasn't the best part of it. It was like it's just like out of everything I loved about Breath of the Wild, the story was kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. The story was
fine. So it's just like it's cool to see characters 100 years ago, but I'm not necessarily caring that much about the story considering I know what's going to happen. So it's like
but now there's time travel.
But yeah, see that, but we don't really know what's going to happen because there's time travel. So by the way, we see people in the chat saying no spoilers. There will be no spoilers.
No. I will say this right now. I have not had a lot of time to play Hyrule Warriors. I have not even done Rivali's quest. Like I finally got a chance to play a little bit more last night, and I just did all the side quest stuff.
Wow, I'm ahead of Derek.
Spoilers.
Nice.
So I picked up the game on launch day. And I didn't play it for most of launch day, but I mean, I took time off for my wedding. And it turns out that a wedding's only like a few hours long. So I was like, oh, hey, I can play Age of Calamity while I'm not getting married. And so I've been playing a lot of it, and I'm actually surprised by how much I do like it. I didn't think I was going to. I'm with Scott though. It's not a 9 out of 10, like not by any stretch. At least
7,
not
8.
as far as I've played. Like a solid 7-8 popcorn kind of game. Like it's entertaining enough, but I'm not like blown away by it. I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of fun. I like this.
Of course, you have like the problem with Warriors games being the performance, specifically with like like lower end hardware like the Switch. The Breath of the Wild art style still looks really good, but the thing is with this game is that it's a lot more cinematic. They have way more cutscenes so far. And the problem is the Breath of the Wild art style doesn't work well in all instances. There's like a lot of up close shots with like just these disgusting looking textures, just disgusting. And like like the little mini guardian is a little like low poly sometimes. It's fine, but it's just like, but then there's like random cutscenes where it's just like you see like the Zelda model, and Zelda is just like, you don't see any polygons on it. You don't see any, like, it's just like, she's like this perfect, like, smooth character model. It's just like, wow, this looks great. And then, like, other times, like, it's just like, man, this art style wasn't made for every instance. So it's just like, but overall, like, I don't know. It's really funny to see how, like, wild they go with, like, taking Breath of the Wild, just, like, things, like your abilities and just, like, shield surfing and the paraglider and, the Sheikah Slate abilities and just taking them and just going just hog wild on just doing moves around them. It's really funny to see like all that kind of stuff. I'm enjoying it so far, but I don't know if anybody who would expect like a third one after this. I don't think it's impossible, but it's just like yeah. So
I'm
Maybe
still
not for a
very
few
much in the
years.
early stages. Yeah, I'm still very much in the early stages. I'm enjoying what I've played so far, but I've mostly been stuck on Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which I'm still working my way through. But I do want to switch over to Age of Calamity ASAP, mainly because I don't want to get spoiled. I mean, I enjoy Muso games, but I'm not going there for the gameplay. I'm going there to see how it affects Breath of the Wild story, and I'm going there to spend actual time with all these really cool characters that Breath of the Wild introduced me to, but who weren't actually alive in Breath of the Wild to, do cool stuff with. So
Yeah. And they've
that's
all had
what's,
good moments
bringing
so
me
far.
Age of Calamity. I'm sure.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out, because Scott was talking about the frame rate, and I agree completely. I unlocked Urbosa today, and I was playing as her. And
Wait,
when she
I'm
does
farther
her,
than
like,
you then. If
Oh,
you
well, I've
only
played
just
a lot.
unlocked...
I mean, I unlocked Urbosa this morning.
Okay.
I've played a lot since this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It turns out the day after you get married, like you just, like it's another normal day. So I was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna sit on the couch and play Age of Calamity for like 9 hours.
Okay then.
But anyway, yeah, like
Nice.
family was here. Like they're like, hey, we want to spend time with your kids. I was like, yeah, do that. Like you take my children, and I will play video games all day.
I love it.
Anyway, but she does her weak point move, like when she strikes an enemy's weak point, and she like kind of dances around the enemy and uses her lightning. And I have never not seen the frame rate completely tank when I do that. Like, I mean, definitely
Yeah.
like in the teens. Like it's bad.
A lot of times when you use the remote bombs in any move set, just like all the explosions, like it just obliterates the game. Like it's ridiculous. It's never like I wasn't expecting it to be like a buttery smooth frame rate. It never like, it's kind of like a Link's Awakening style frame rate where it's just like, okay, this doesn't really affect the gameplay really or my enjoyment much, but it's just like, it's noticeable. It's kind
But
of
Link's Awakening doesn't have the excuse of being a Muso game, though. Like, I still don't know why
that
Link's
thing would run on a
Awakening.
potato. Like, I'm just
Like,
like,
why?
I know.
It's
What?
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't
So
understand why
my
the game.
theory.
Yeah.
My theory is that because I remember there being rumors of there being a Link's Awakening remake for 3DS, like before this got that got announced.
Oh, really?
So I just remember seeing stuff like that, and I could maybe see it be something like they were working on this for 3DS, and then they kind of hastily just threw it on
Sure.
Switch,
That could.
and maybe some random coding just wasn't really thought through, and like it may not have ran as well, just because like they're different architectures. I don't know. Like that's just my personal theory.
It makes
I
sense.
know nothing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, Age of Calamity does seem like the kind of game that would be really worth replaying if you care about frame drops, which it seems like most of us here do, when the possible Switch Pro comes out and hopefully adds performance enhancements. So let's, here's hoping that happens. Speaking of performance enhancements, a retail listing at Best Buy has revealed that a PS5 upgrade for The Last of Us Part 2 could be in the works, but let's be honest, it's totally coming. Like, of course, it's in
like
the works. It's,
looking at this,
yeah.
I'm like that's not even news. It's just obvious.
Yeah. So it's nice to have some sort of actual, somewhat confirmation, but it's happening either way. It's just a matter of when.
I didn't play Last of Us until the remaster version came out on PS4. I might as well just wait on Last of Us Part 2 for the PS5 remaster.
Well, do you really need Last of Us Part 2 to look better? It already looks pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I don't know that I need anything. If they did like they did with Ghost of Tsushima and just uncap the frame rate or decrease loading times, cool. But I don't know that I need to go and buy a new version. I don't think that there's enough there to remaster it like the same way they did with Spider-Man or something. I don't know.
Well, it may just be an upgrade.
Yeah,
it may be like a
the
patch
multiplayer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's a patch, I'm all for it. To be clear, if they do what they did with the PS4 version, where you had to buy the whole game again, I don't really know that.
This generation, it feels so much less. It just feels so much more forced that they do stuff like Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition and stuff like that, because you can play Devil May Cry 5 on the PS5, no problem. So it's just like, why do I have to buy like this completely new version of it for the? It's just, at least with PS4, you had no backwards compatibility, so it's just like it kind of made sense. Now it's just like you have backwards compatibility, and they're still trying to push these remasters, and I'm like, okay, it helps the game, but it's also like, I don't know. I just feel way less inclined to rebuy a lot of this stuff.
Well, it
If
is
I
worth
had a
noting.
PS5, damn it, yeah. But
It is worth noting that the Best Buy store listing in question includes a tag that reads "includes next-gen upgrades." So that seems
Oh,
to
okay.
suggest, if this is real, that seems to suggest it might be a patch or like a
That would be
an
good.
inherent.
Mhm.
Yeah. So hopefully that is the case. All right. Well, moving right along here, we got a couple more news stories. The Sonic movie sequel is going to be entering production in March 2021.
Oh no, Derek.
I am so excited for this. So
No
it's,
more
it's
kids.
officially entering production in March 2021 and is codenamed quite appropriately Emerald Hill. How nice is that? Yeah, so I think we were all surprised by how good the Sonic movie ended up actually being. And of course, the end of the movie sets it up perfectly for a sequel with everybody's favorite two-tailed sidekick. And I'm ready. In my veins, whatever I need to say, I'm ready to see this movie. I was so surprised by how good the Sonic movie was.
I don't think I've ever heard
And
Scott's opinions on it because I'm seeing a little smirk on his face. I'm almost wondering, like,
I'm
did he
curious,
not
yeah.
enjoy this?
me and my friends were disappointed with how not terrible it was.
Oh, yeah.
Disappointed, yeah.
We showed up in suits to the to the
I love
premiere, and because we specifically, when the first trailer was revealed, we were like, we gotta go.
Oh yeah,
and,
of course.
Obviously.
yeah. And when the redesign was announced, I was like, I mean, good, but damn it.
Yeah.
We show up to the movie in their suits. It was really hot, and I think I got a blister in my foot from the dress shoes I was wearing. And it was, you ever have that thing in a movie theater where you sit down and it's a fairly empty theater, then that one guy decides to sit right next to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our friends, my friends kind of had that situation where it's like, there's so many other seats, man. Like, why did you have to sit next to us? We wanted to riff. We wanted to riff on it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it was also like, it was a completely fine little movie. It was probably one of
Right?
the best video games. I don't know what I liked better, this or Pokemon Detective Pikachu. As
Oh,
somebody
that's
who's
tough.
not super into Pokemon,
Yeah.
but it's also like, I thought that movie was pretty good.
Mhm.
I felt like as an overall movie, I think Detective Pikachu was probably better, but it's also like Sonic was more entertaining. I'd rather watch that again.
I totally agree with you. Yeah,
That's
I think
fair.
you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think Sonic
Mhm.
was a better Sonic movie than Detective Pikachu was a Pokemon movie. Like I
Well,
think
Sonic
I
still
think
had that dumb, like, oh, we're gonna try to put this in the real world kind of thing, you know. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Pokemon made a little more sense as like a live action CGI hybrid. Where Sonic, I'm just like, why? Like, it's just like immediately when they announced this is a live action CGI hybrid, I just immediately thought of like Alvin and the Chipmunks or Smurfs, and I was like, why? Why do that to Sonic? That makes no sense.
Right.
Mhm.
But they made it work. They made it work pretty well.
well,
you know,
It's not too
I'll
bad.
say this. Detective Pikachu doesn't have Jim Carrey telling us what's in his egg sack. So I think Sonic
that was a
wins
good
by-
moment.
Mhm.
That was a good moment.
Jim Carrey was having a
Yeah.
lot of fun. That was,
Oh
that-
yeah, he's honestly, he and Tails are the two biggest reasons I'm excited about this movie. I just want more Jim Carrey, Robotnik, and I want more Tails. Like that's
You think-
the whole thing.
Because I think Tails was voiced by like his standard voice actress.
yeah.
And
And I hope I hope that stays that
they're
way.
gonna,
I don't
they're
think
gonna
it
get
will.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson to voice Tails or something.
I could see Tails getting recast, honestly. Although
Yeah,
there
I
might
can
be enough fan uproar. But
That's true.
I mean, we didn't get
Probably get
traditional
Tom
Sonic.
Holland to do it or something. I don't know.
God.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go
Whatever.
off book with it, just get Danny DeVito to do Tails.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Tails better
Perfect.
sound like a kid. Like if they get someone whose voice is dropped to do Tails, like and Tails sounds like any of us, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
No, they need to get
Oh, man.
the same voice actor that did it back in Sonic Adventure 1. He's grown up now. He
Oh,
can
yeah, there
probably
you go.
True. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just love it. It's just like we got the same Tails voice actor from Sonic Adventure 1. He's 35
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Um,
Tails.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be I don't know. I'm trying to think if I'm expecting it to be better or like not as good as the original, because like that's the thing. Do you think it won't be as good because like you're not going to be as pleasantly surprised as the first movie kind of thing? Because like now you have
I don't know.
expectations.
I mean, yeah, there are certain expectations there now, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think there's a chance for it to be better.
Yeah, I think the end of the first movie implied that we're gonna see more of like the actual like more Sonic-ish world.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
based on the
Yeah.
fact that we have Robotnik looking more like Robotnik, and just the fact that you have Tails in there, and then you have like just the fact that Robotnik was in like kind of like a more
The Mushroom
mushroomy
Hill where we
Mushroom
had
Hill
the
zone.
echidnas before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, the second movie, my guess is main villain is Metal Sonic. Third movie, that's
can
when they
see
bring out Shadow. Like, or they might just
Woof.
push it because Shadow is the most popular character. I've heard from several YouTubers, you put Shadow on your thumb, you're going to get a significant increase in views compared to
Really?
anybody
That's
else.
funny.
put it on I'll put it on my
interesting.
Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics.
There you
thumbnail.
go.
See how that does.
That's,
Now it's
I don't know.
down.
I mean, I don't doubt you, obviously, Derek, but that's hard for me to believe that people would be would have been more excited to see Shadow at the end of Sonic than Tails. Like that surprised me.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Shadow is that popular. Like Tails,
I
obviously.
think he's the
Expecting
most
it.
popular. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
No, he's the most.
I was expecting it to go like the third movie is about Knuckles, and maybe
Right.
fourth movie it goes back to it replicates Sonic 4 episode 1, and then
Oh,
you have,
God.
They should,
Let's
they
hope
should just
not.
release
Like that.
them like the same way they did the Genesis games. We get Tails in the second movie, Knuckles in the third movie. Then the fourth movie, you kind of like just is another recut of the third movie with different characters in it.
Uh-huh.
yeah. Or
And
the
then the
third
fifth
movie
movie
is called
was
Sonic the
Ray and
Hedgehog
Mighty.
CD, and then
There we
the
go.
fourth
Oh
one.
yeah,
There you
there we
go.
go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That
It's
was
released only on
that'll hit a
DVD.
chord with most most audiences.
All right. Well, our last news story of the day is actually just a really quick PSA for those of you out there who are looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. Please be aware that there are retail copies officially in the wild. There are pictures circulating out there of people who have Cyberpunk 2077. So if you're looking forward to it and don't want to be spoiled, be careful and put on your internet blinders. And that's pretty much the long and short of it. Are you guys? I know. Well, Steve, I know you're going to review it, but are
Yes.
Derek and Scott, are you looking forward to Cyberpunk?
I have no time.
I hear that. Yeah.
I mean, like it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
I think. I'll probably pick it up on sale or something. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be playing right now. I think I'm playing Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I
I
gotta.
don't know. I just haven't. I gotta wait till my winter break until I can actually play stuff
Sure.
again.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I don't even know what I want to play. I played a lot of Final Fantasy VII for somebody who who probably shouldn't be playing Final Fantasy VII. But
The remake.
like 5-6 hours. Yeah, I played the remake.
Nice.
I want to
What?
replay that on my new TV so much.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Do it.
my time with it enough, but
Mhm.
I fell off of it when I don't know. I got busy, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's gonna be tough to get back to.
Sure.
I played about an hour of Resident Evil 3, and I could probably and I only have like 30 minutes left apparently until I finish the game. So
I was
I'm
about
Yes,
to
I
say.
understand it's about the whole game. Yeah. From what
Yeah.
I've heard.
I don't even know what I want to play next. The next time I have free time, I kind of want to play Pikmin 3 Deluxe, but I've already beat Pikmin 3, so I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to figure out. I have 300 NES games. I can.
Yeah. You got a lot to get through there.
Yeah.
still need to
Well, I mean,
finish
these aren't
Origami
for me.
King.
Aren't for me, but we can try that. Yeah, I also Origami King. Like I liked it quite a bit, but I was also like,
Same.
man, like that in the middle, it kind of drags a bit. So I was like, like I'll get back to this later, So I'm
The,
like,
the yellow streamer chapter was where it kind of dragged for me, but then it
Yeah.
really picks up again after that, and I'm in the green streamer chapter now, toward the end of the game, and I'm
Yeah.
still just loving it.
The
It's
yellow-
really
the yellow
blown
streamer
away my
is,
expectations.
yeah, the yellow streamer is like the desert area, right? Or like
Yeah,
the
that's the
whatever, the Shy Guy Bazaar kind of area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one dragged for me just because like I don't know, just scouring through the desert, I was like, God, like
Same.
I don't know, but I
But-
think I made it into like the temple area, but I haven't
Yeah.
played for a couple months, so I'm
Mm.
But
I'm
then
also,
after
I already
that,
put
though,
like 15 hours into it, so I'm like, man, do I just finish that or do I play something else?
Oh no, that's
Well,
that's
the
the
thing that's cool about
RPG
that, though-
conundrum.
is that once you do finish the yellow streamer chapter, it's followed up by one of the best chapters in the game, which is essentially a mini Wind Waker. The purple streamer
Wow.
chapter, they basically fit a mini Wind Waker Great Sea style experience in in
Yeah.
Origami King, and it's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
No, I mean I think a lot of the criticism of that game was a little overblown for me personally. I was like,
Yeah.
there wasn't any.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there was anything egregiously offensive. At least with Color Splash, and I liked Color Splash. You could have. I think there were some egregiously offensive parts in that game. I'm just like, just the
Right.
way you controlled it. I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
disgusting. But Origami King, you don't really have that. The battle system, 100% could have used experience points. 100%.
Sure.
But you know, I'm with it. I think it's a fun little thing.
Honestly,
so
it's the best that modern Paper Mario has ever been. I really think this game has reached highs that the series hasn't seen for me personally since the Thousand Year Door. It's not as good as Thousand Year Door, but it gets surprisingly close in my
No,
opinion.
I agree
And I
with
haven't
that.
even
wonderful
finished it.
music. Wonderful music. It
Oh,
looks
the
great.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's
It,
insane.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's just the weird thing with Paper Mario is I just find it so weird that they constantly try to reinvent the battle system when they don't want to put XP in there.
I know.
Because they're like, oh, well, we don't want to make this an RPG. Well, why are you doing turn-based combat then? Just make it like
Exactly.
a fun little adventure game. You know,
Mhm.
you can just take it
Yeah.
out and make it kind of like Secret of Mana, where it's just like, oh, you just kill them on the overworld and that's it. It's just weird. It's a weird direction.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
hear you.
Agreed.
Hmm.
Well, that brings us to the end of our headlines, plus our miscellaneous discussion about so many other topics. So we've really, we've really covered a bunch of stuff today. But before we sign off, Scott, please tell our wonderful audience where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Scott the Waz pretty much anywhere that kind of matters. So just the regular social medias and whatnot. I'm doing a charity for merchandise for charity event right now that I'm very tired after figuring everything out with that. But I'm pretty sure if people already follow me, then they probably already know about that. But if you don't, I'm doing that, so you can look into that if you feel like it. We've already raised over $100,000 for charity,
crazy.
which is
That's
amazing.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I love to hear
Thank
that.
you. Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
that is
pretty- it's pretty wild.
amazing. I'm
Well,
I'm going to
awesome.
try my best to pick up your game. Like I've got the
Yeah.
page bookmarked,
I have,
and then I'm
I
going to
have
upload
been-
a long play of it. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
okay, yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's a
Totally.
mystery. It's a mystery NES game, so it could be any of these. I just ran into my printer, it could be any of these. You could get Adventures of Lolo or
Hey, that's a good
Garbage.
game.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah. great
so
game.
it's up in the
Nice.
Well-
it's up in the air.
So let me
Oh,
I was gonna say, let me know in the chat if you want me to pick up a copy, and I will definitely unbox and play whatever the hell it is.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's
There
a
you
fun
go.
one. You get a fun box. You get a fun double-sided poster, an instruction booklet, all of that. That was hell to go through. That was a lot of work.
I'm sure it was.
I bet.
And I
Yeah.
mean, well, and also, I mean, thank you even more than for joining us today, since you're
Seriously.
already so exhausted from that whole experience. So, thank you again
It's
for
fine.
joining us today, man. Yeah.
Again, I don't
And-
talk to anybody online, so this is a fun excuse.
Well, that's all
you're
the more
welcome
reason to have
on
you
the
back
show
on.
anytime.
Yeah.
Of
Exactly.
course, yeah. It
Um,
was fun. I'm more than happy to do it whenever you guys want.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you
can,
very
You
much.
can be
We'll
our
take them
new
on that.
E3 correspondent whenever E3 comes
Yeah.
And
back.
Yes,
just
exactly.
each year
We
make his
need
mic
three
just a
previews.
little bit better.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a bit.
I
Just
love
a
that.
bit.
That's one of my favorite. I'm horrible with audio anyway, so even if I tried to make the audio good, it will not
That's-
be good.
That
So-
is super funny because one of the things, like I mentioned before we started streaming, even I was telling Scott that I watched, like, when I started doing videos, I kind of watched his videos as a frame of reference on how to make a good video.
horrible.
And
Horrible audio advice.
I was gonna
The
say, like, I
worst.
think your videos sound really good. Like,
Oh,
I was
bad.
apparently my
bad.
ears
It's
are
horrible.
Oh, I know I'm not good at that kind of thing.
Either. Yeah. If you
Oh,
don't
wow,
tell them
that's-
you use a Blue Yeti, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, that sounds pretty good." And I'm like, "Oh, I use a Blue Yeti." Oh God, it's disgusting. You know, kind of.
That's
thing.
so funny,
That's
yeah. Because are you really on a Blue Yeti? Is that what you're using?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well,
I don't know
that's-
anything about audio. I'm horrible with audio.
So I'm
I'm
actually going to
actually surprised
suggest,
to hear that.
before we go in any further, love the conversation. My internet seems to be struggling a bit because I just froze up for you
Okay.
guys. It'll be fine in the replay, but you guys are all frozen for a solid minute there.
Uh-oh.
Plus, my
Yeah,
AirPods are about to die, so let me go
Yeah.
ahead and do
Go
this
for it,
outro,
go
then
for it,
we'll
go
keep
for it.
chatting.
Yeah.
So, before we sign off, as always, we have to profusely thank all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make the show happen, because it would not be happening without every single one of you. In addition, a massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those awesome folks include Rob Arman X, Dan Entwistle, Z Patty, Adam O'Sullivan, Floating Mew, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, OnStar, Dukemon, Diogo, Kieran Phillips, Benny Yao, Rosa Bowling, aka Mama Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Geller, Shiny Turkey, Titus Malvolio, Jake Pelka, Michael Phone, Mitchell Herring, Top Dog 23100, Jay Acosta, Game Explain, Charles Saz, and Andrew Medeiros. So thank you all so much for helping to make this show happen. And remember, you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch today's News Tonight live for for as little as $5 a month. So it's not very much. You can also support us at as low as $1 a month if you'd like. So, but whether you're supporting us on Patreon or not, or if you're just watching the VOD versions of this, thank you so much for watching the show and being in our audience and caring about what we do. And we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of Today's News Tonight. So until then, good night and good vibes, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
It's over. Stop my audio.
Okay.
Felt like I had to like rush through that before.
Yeah, you guys froze, and I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, or my headphones died. All right, let me get this going here.
Are you?
All right. Well, that's
We
episode.
still all good? How's
11
everybody
tonight.
doing?
Yeah.
All right. There we are.
We made it through the whole episode without a cop car.
Yeah.
That's a record.
Oh, my headphones actually just died. Perfect timing.
Oh wow. Amazing.
So Scott, what do you use when you're shooting like out in the field, audio wise?
Just the microphone in the
Like
thing.
the one built into the camera,
sometimes,
or?
sometimes we use the phone, just because it's easier.
Oh.
Like
Damn,
if it's me and my friends and we're just like, oh man, this is like a handheld thing. It's just like I don't want to be the guy that brings his camera. So I'm just like, oh, we'll just use my phone, because I mean the phone looks good. But honestly, when it's I'm gonna film some stuff with my friends tonight, so it's
Nice.
it's gonna be like it's mainly gonna be like camera, and then I use Blue Yeti. I use the Blue
Hey,
Yeti to
that-
record audio separately. It
That
does
is
the job.
that is actually really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had so Derek and Ash can tell you. Well, Derek looks frozen. But
I mean, I'm
Nah,
fine.
that's just his
Unfrozen.
face right now.
I know, right? He's just in disbelief.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
frozen. Yeah, weird.
My old setup, I used to live in an apartment before this, and I had the same microphone Derek and Ash used, but it sounded awful because
Mhm.
like it would pick up like my neighbor above me, like doing whatever the hell they were doing, and then the room I was in, like just had such a loud echo that you could barely make out what the hell I was saying in most of my videos. So I had to like
That's-
my original video recording setup was like a cardboard box in my closet with like a
Uh-huh.
75-foot USB cable running out to my other room.
yeah,
I would like hit
that's
record and
the
then just
thing with
run
audio.
over to go record.
That's
Yeah.
just the thing. It takes so like you can't just half the time I feel like you can't even just set up like the microphone, just plug it in and do it. Like it's you have to tweak it so much, and I don't know what to do to like do it properly. So it's just like I like, and I don't even know what microphones to look into, because like so many people are like, oh, I use this microphone, and then I'm like, but they don't really do what I do. Like in terms of like style, like they're more so just like streamers or
That's-
something.
the
I'm
best
just like, I
the
don't
best
know.
advice I can
You
give
never know what to
um,
get, because it's just like whenever you see reviews of cameras and microphones, they're always like, "Oh, this camera looks really good when you're taking pictures of flowers," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna take pictures of flowers. I'm gonna
Yeah.
film. I'm gonna film myself in my bedroom. Thank you." So it's just like I don't know. It's just like it's always different. It's so difficult to figure out like
Scott,
what works best for you.
You know
Equipment
Gil,
like
right?
that.
Yeah,
Gilly the
yeah.
kid?
I always assumed you were
Yeah.
using like a shotgun mic, like on a pole or something, out of view.
No, I tried for a second. I was like, I prefer the Blue Yeti.
All I
It's
know
Hey,
weird,
whatever.
so-
I will
Yeah.
never use another Blue Yeti. I had so many problems with mine. Like
Oh,
I
you know-
damn,
never
yeah.
buy another one of those.
the funny thing is that was my very first microphone. Like before I started actually making videos, like I had a buddy and I were going to start a Twitch channel called Couch Co-op, and we were just going to like hang out, get drunk, and play whatever game we decided to play that night. And we had bought a couple Blue Yetis, and the only like when I was alone, the Blue Yeti sounded great. Like I loved it. The issue that I had was that when my buddy and I would start getting progressively more inebriated and thus louder as a result, like our two mics would start picking each other up. And so we'd have like people would be watching, like the 3 people watching our stream would be like, hey, this sounds terrible. Stop it.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I don't want to do a lavalier mic because you can see that. And I don't like that.
Right.
Like I don't want to do that. Maybe if it's like if I'm doing like an interview kind of thing, but it's just like with my videos I like there to be like kind of a weird just this weird they're in their weird reality or something where it's just like I'm not making a video, it's just you know kind of like I don't know, it kind of fits more of like it makes it feel more like an actual show kind of thing. And I like that. So I don't want to put a lavalier mic there. So I've never bought a lavalier mic. But those sound pretty good. But I just stick to this stupid dinky thing.
Hey man, it works.
It does the job. Yeah, I did invest a lot into cameras. You know, I do have the Panasonic GH5.
Same.
Like
That's
that.
this.
Yeah, it's a good camera. It's a good camera, and I always shoot in 4K, and files come out like 100 gigabytes, and I'm like, Jesus, that's it's a lot.
I had asked John Linneman at Digital Foundry, like I was like, hey man, your videos look so good. What do you use? And he's like, oh, I use the GH5. And I looked it up. I was like,
people are using the GH5.
God damn it. That's a very expensive camera.
I have 3 of them. I don't know how I got that. I don't know. I have some of them are just in my drawers right there because I broke one. I broke one filming. Yeah, I broke one filming. Like it just fell and then the lens broke. And I was like, welp. So I ordered one on Amazon, but it wasn't getting here until like a day later than I needed it. So I bought one at Best Buy, and then I have the other one that's tiny broken, but I think the lens just broke. So I just have another one that's just hanging out there. So yeah, I have a lot of Panasonic GH5s, which really shows that saving your money does help when it comes to when you need to buy 3 cameras over a weekend.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, I bought my GH5 like in the last 6 months or so, and I remember when I got it, I was really thrilled with the quality, and I have like a mount above my desk for when I do unboxing videos, and I was like, hey, I should buy another one of these to put up there, and my now wife was like, I'm not letting you do that. You're not allowed.
She wasn't your wife around then. You could probably
You could have got away with it.
Yeah,
it's whatever. You were a free man. It's just whatever.
I don't think it quite works that way for me anymore. Speaking.
Oh no, it's weird. I just find it really weird how it's just like, you know, like before like you would get married, it's just like, oh man, you know, you got to go out to a bachelor party. This is your last night as a free man. It's just like, no.
Yeah, I've been dating her for how long?
Line of thinking.
Like, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah,
you're still dating that person, so it's just like, why?
Well, and also,
you're a free man.
You don't stop having autonomy when you get married, and you should anyway.
Yeah,
and you
need to go out and create. Some
it's like those stupid T-shirts that have
that
game
you look
over
really guilty
on them.
at the wedding.
Before
so it was just
COVID
like,
and everything, I would go out, you know, and have drinks with friends sometimes, and I'd occasionally get people saying, "Oh, wow, your wife let you come out and drink with us with the old ball and chain." I'm like, my wife didn't let me do anything. I just went. And same with my wife. She goes out and hangs out with her friends, and they're like, wow,
you can't go to a bar.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like
do it.
My wife will travel for like electronic music shows, and she'll, you know, the people she goes with will be like, your husband lets you travel by yourself? Let her. What? This is so weird. I never understood that. Yeah, like what?
It's a weird line of thinking. It's just this weird mentality that I think like people assume that in relationships you should always be like concerned about if the other person's gonna like be faithful to you, and I'm just like, well, that's probably not a good relationship to begin with.
You have to worry about that. Yeah.
You know, I should. The chat is oddly quiet. I don't know if they can see or hear us anymore.
Can you guys hear
Well,
me
there,
at
we
all?
still have 29
Oh,
people
never mind.
watching.
They still got us.
Oh,
They still
okay.
got us.
I think it's because you guys have been mostly frozen and I've been the only one.
Oh,
But you
yeah,
can hear
we
all
would
of you,
have
That
so
was
that's
a
fine.
different. That was a completely different story for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. They could hear us. Okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
No. If you guys want to give some feedback here in terms of so for this Christmas, my family's doing like kind of like an adopt a family kind of thing where it's like you instead of giving presents to like kind of like my extended family, we're just gonna like pick kind of a family that may be more in need of presents, and we're gonna
cool.
like, oh man, we're gonna buy stuff for them. So they said they have a Nintendo Switch, so I was just like, I got really excited when I went to Best Buy. So I picked up 10 games. I also need to bump up my credit, so it's a good excuse for that.
There you go.
But it's also
Nice.
like, there we go. So okay, so these are like 8, 7-year-old boys, and like there's like a ton of girls, and there's like 4 girls. Like 2 of them are like 2 or 3, and then like 1 is 12, and then 1 is 16.
This
So,
is
okay,
one
so in terms-
family?
Yeah, it's a big
Wow.
family apparently.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Christ.
So like so we got the stack of games here. So we got Ultimate, we got Smash Ultimate.
Of course.
We got Super Mario Party. But it's a
Yeah.
it's a big
Good kids
family.
like
It's
it.
a family game.
They'll have
yeah.
something to do with it.
Yeah.
No, it's like one of those things where it's just like, okay, maybe I'll get rid of Super Mario Party, and I'll throw in like Mario Party 7 or something. No, I'll throw in a good one.
Yeah.
It's one of the good ones.
May not have a game for you, but
I've learned that the quality standards for kids are maybe not as high as ours a lot of the time.
I mean, like it's fine. Super Mario Party's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
fine. It's not bad.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction, but they just didn't go all there.
Yeah.
Where it's like the boards are New
Must
Super
have
Mario
said it.
Brothers U Deluxe, a horrible game, not great, but it's not horrible, but it's also like
It's
I think for a family it's good. I
painfully
wouldn't wanna get 'em-
average.
for like Mario Maker 2. I just feel like they said like they're not like fully like huge gamers, so it's just like, okay, I feel like New Super Mario Brothers U fits that bill a bit better, because with Mario Maker
Yeah.
2 you have to go in there knowing exactly like
Yeah.
this
Game
is
design
this is
and
what I
all
want
that.
to play here.
The
Yeah.
bar of
Yeah.
entry is high.
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So we have Animal Crossing. Obviously, like
Course.
you have to.
Of
Of
course.
course, that's a problem. Knowing that they have a Switch, I'm worried that they're gonna have some of these games. So I'm like, but you never know. Of course, the best game for the Switch released this year, Clubhouse Games, 51 worldwide classics. It's the best.
That's
If
a good
people say
family game.
Nintendo didn't, and if people
Yeah.
say Nintendo didn't release any games this year, they released 51 on one day. So,
You know, I've been that's been like the Ludo game for my wife and me. Like we just play Ludo and
Oh,
that's
man.
it.
So Ludo is like kind of like the Sorry game, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like Sorry. And
Yeah.
that game lasts forever for me. I am
Yep.
Uh-huh.
horrible at that one.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
like Moncala. Moncala. I just
Moncala
love
turned you like came
Moncala.
out of nowhere to be just amazing
Oh,
game I've
Moncala's
never heard of before.
Great.
Yeah,
I
it's so much fun.
I played Moncala against Danny from the Nintendo Treehouse, and he was like bragging about how good he is at it. And we ended up in a dead tie, and I had never played Moncala before that.
Oh man,
So-
if you turn assist mode on, cheating, brutal, just absolutely like you'd be on
Mm.
world record pace with that. I really like Clubhouse games, so it's just like a family of people who may not be like super big into games right now. Like I think it's a great.
That's a good
it's great pick.
choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did Mario 3D All Stars. It's 3 games in one. 3 great
Yeah.
games. I didn't see Mario Odyssey
All
there. and I
time and
was
one,
just like,
pretty
that's-
good game. So
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay, so these are the okay. So I'll say Mario Kart. That's kind of the risky one there, because I kind of feel like these people have a Switch. They probably have Mario Kart.
Probably
What if
came
they
with
don't?
they
it.
probably have Mario
Well,
Kart. Yeah.
But what if they
Yeah.
don't have Mario Kart? Then I'm gonna feel like a dick for not getting the Mario Kart. So I'm just like,
True.
Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
include the receipt with it. So it's
I
just
feel like
okay. If they,
you got them a good list of the essentials. for-
Yeah, exactly.
but
for a
I went for the risky ones here. So we have
Ooh.
Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, because the young kids there.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel
okay.
like
Co-op.
I feel like it's a good starter one. I
Mhm.
don't like Pokemon, but it's like there's
My
some young kids in there. They'll like it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
7-year-old daughter loves Pokemon Let's Go. She has
Oh,
the
yeah.
Eevee version as well, and she's addicted
I
to
think-
it. So yeah, I think that's
I
a good
think-
pick.
I think in some cases, I think Let's Go looks better than Sword and Shield.
Really?
Yep.
I think it looks a bit better. I think it's cleaner.
It's definitely cleaner.
I think Sword and Shield looks a little like more dynamic. I think this is way simpler, but it's like I don't know. I feel like it has a bit of a cleaner. It's much more cleaned up. Sword and Shield is kind of just it's more I don't know. It's more complicated, which makes it better in some ways, but I think it kind of it's a little worse in some others. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, because I want to create an allegiance of Pikmin fans.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes.
Because I'm like, there's no way in hell any of these family members even know what this is.
Right.
But I'm like, eh.
But it could also be one of those games like I think everybody there's that
There's
one
co-op in
weird
it.
game.
There's Bingo Battle, and there's a ton of kids in that family,
Yeah, and I think every family has that one weird game that you don't quite get, but that one family member is like, I love this game. That was my childhood.
Yeah, you never know. You could be creating a lifelong Pikmin fan.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You're still
which
waiting
is
for Pikmin
wonderful.
4 when they turn 18.
Yeah, so 10 years. 20 years ago, Pikmin 4 was almost done. And
That's
you know,
true.
it's almost
That's so weird.
almost
Yeah.
done now.
Yeah.
And then Minecraft, like you have a bunch of kids in that family.
Yeah,
I feel like
they're
it's
playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. I also got a Pro controller and a year of a year of Switch Online. I think a year of Switch Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got
Well,
some-
then
got some
they can
good-
play
got the
Pan of
NES
the Pond, so they're
SNES.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got they got Mario 35, Tetris 99, the only two games you need.
Yeah.
Right.
you
Oh
know.
man, I still can't stop playing Mario 35. I love that game.
Here's my thing with Mario 35. It is such an amazing idea. They need to expand upon it.
They do.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. They
Yep.
need to. Like, there's these little things that just keep it from being this amazing experience.
Yeah.
Or just like at the moment, like I got first place one time, and I was just like, all right, I'm good. All right, I accomplished what I needed to. I want them to introduce like new skins, like Mario Maker, where it's just like, oh man, Mario
Yeah.
2 35, Mario 3 35, Mario World
Exactly.
35, new Super Mario
Yeah.
35. And I don't. They need to like offer like 3 separate random levels for you to like vote on instead of just giving
I
you
agree.
the entirety of the game
Yeah.
like
Yep.
they do with Mario Kart 8, because like that's the thing with like Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Wii was that they just gave you the entire track list to choose from, and that
Yeah.
made it so then people would just keep on picking the same thing over and over again.
Right.
But with Mario Kart 8, they just offer like 3 randoms, which I think is way better because it keeps things interesting, and I think Mario 35 could benefit from that.
Yeah, I agree. There are definitely
for sure.
some improvements that need to be made there, but I just keep going back to
Yeah.
it. And I just really enjoy. Like,
Oh,
I wish
it's a great thing.
I wish the timer turned red a little more quickly. Like, I want to get to like that really frantic last 5 players part of the game a little
Yeah.
faster.
I mean, you'll get there eventually, anyways.
Yeah.
You just gotta weed out the weak ones.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
just get to the meat of it all.
Yeah.
That's what I played for a bit there. I played about like 5 hours worth of 3D All Stars, but I was like, I played all these games, so it's just like it wasn't as something that I had to like play a ton of. I
Yeah.
tried Mario Kart Live, and that's pretty much my gaming experience over the past few months. I need to do more stuff.
Yeah.
It's just been a busy time. It's just
Yeah.
been unfortunate.
Well, I hear that.
just
I haven't
don't-
even finished The Last of Us Part 2 yet, which I'm actually happy now for because I can, go back and finish it in 4K, which would be, HDR and all that.
I picked up
Yeah,
Crash
I played-
4 and I played about 5 levels and have not gone back to it since.
Hmm.
I played about an hour and a half of Last of Us Part 2, and I did not get to the big part at the beginning that everybody hates.
Oh, wow.
So it's just
You
like, yeah.
Okay.
I know. I've been spoiled, so it's just
Oh,
like
see,
I
I-
already
I
know.
think I've been
Yeah.
spoiled.
You know
I'm not
everything,
sure
so it's just
exactly,
like-
but I'm pretty sure I have, and I was a little upset about that. But I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, this year's already kind of blown, so I'm like, I don't want to play a sad
hear you.
game.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't finished it.
Sure.
I just want to play Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics.
Yeah.
That's a happy game.
Yeah.
It's good.
Exactly.
So that's kind of been my mentality. But
I totally hear that.
I think it's been a good year for Nintendo overall, though. 2020, I've been happy with the releases so far this year.
Yeah.
Same.
Pretty good.
Not like a ton of them,
I
but
just remember like 2 months
solid.
ago, everybody was livid, absolutely like, my God, where are the games? And
Sell us
I'm just
shit.
like,
We want to be sold shit.
yeah,
It hasn't really
I had a
felt
pretty
like
good-
that slow
I had a
year
pretty
to me.
good.
Game wise, it just I think it's a bit overblown. It doesn't feel like
If
Nintendo's
I
having a
look
slow
back
year.
at like looking back at like 2018, I feel like that year was a lot slower. It was mainly just a Wii U port year. You know, they just had like Bayonetta 2, and then Kirby Star Allies, which I wasn't a big fan of. And then
It's very forgettable.
yeah, and they had Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, Hyrule Warriors, Captain Toad. That was about it until like Pokemon Let's Go, Mario Party, and then Smash. And Smash carried that year, but without Smash, it's a pretty weak year. Oh, and Mario Tennis. I didn't really like Mario Tennis though. And Sushi Striker. How could I forget Sushi Striker?
Sushi Striker is pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it was also I didn't finish it.
The Switch is the best Switch year period for me.
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to think. I mean, like it's because like the vocalist, one of the main vocalists associated with Rhythm Heaven had throat cancer, right?
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the creator of
It's
the
always
series.
it's always the people that need to use their throat the most.
Right.
It's just like, damn it, why?
My dad actually just recovered from throat cancer, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, of all the places a voice actor could get cancer, it had to be.
Yeah. Is it like?
Jesus.
Is it because you use your throat a lot? Is that how throat cancer can like form?
I don't know.
Or is it just like kind of like a random roll of the dice? Like you just.
That's not what the doctor indicated to my dad, and he just said it was just of all the places you could have gotten it, it happened to be your throat.
It's
unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It always happens to be the people that have to use it the most. I did watch a bit of the Animaniacs reboot. It's pretty good so far. It's a pretty good time.
I'm really happy with how it turned out so far. Yeah, I've only watched first episode, and also Mark Cole in chat asked me to relay the message to my dad that the reboot's great, so I will certainly do that. But yeah, I'm just I don't know how obvious it is to anybody else because he's my dad, but like I can hear it in his voice that he's having the time of his life, that he could not be happier,
Absolutely.
and I'm just so happy for him.
Was Animaniacs like his favorite project he worked on, or
I would say Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain collectively were his.
I mean, his Twitter handle is Yakko Pinky, so.
Well, so I'd say it's Animaniacs,
but it's his least favorite project he's ever worked on. Hates it.
I hate it. I just identify myself by it.
Yeah, I'd say collectively it's Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and Ninja Turtles, and they're very
nice.
Yeah, it's. I gotta say, it was surreal hearing Pinky scream out Leroy Jenkins in the second episode.
I know, right? I also love how I love how they're willing to drag Trump. It's very left leaning. They talk about gender pronouns. I love it. It's great.
I saw. I was making dinner while the Bun Control episode was on, which also has the anime segment. It was like, wow.
I can't wait to watch the anime episode. I've heard a lot about
that is the anime episode. I think it's
that's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It is about that time for me.
So I haven't actually eaten tonight either.
Yeah.
So, Scott, thanks so much for joining us, man. It was really cool to get to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah.
I know that talking is not your jam. But,
I like talking.
He likes talking. He just doesn't get the opportunity.
I hate texting people or messaging people. I hate it.
Yeah.
We will make sure to have you here for some audible talking again in the future very soon, and some not so audible talking next time there's a show that we want to cover.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
that's what I like to hear. No, well, thank you for just letting me on. It's always a pleasure. I've followed you guys for quite a while, so it's cool to I know Derek, but it's cool to meet everybody.
I've been around a long time.
Yeah, next time
I
Nintendo.
know Derek. Yeah.
Next time Nintendo has some big news, we have to have you on.
Yeah, I agree. Love to have you back anytime, man.
Yeah,
you really don't.
I appreciate it. Yeah. If you ever need another person, just feel free to hit me up. But it's just I may be free, I may be not, but I'm always interested. How about that?
All right.
How about this? Actually, just to throw a shot in the dark out there. What are you doing for Game Awards?
Probably just gonna watch it and just be like, eh.
Do you want to? You want to riff on it with us?
Exact reaction with us.
Yeah, you can react.
How about this? If there's a post discussion, I'd be fine with that. I'm not great with the live reaction kind of things.
Okay.
But if there's gonna be a post thing, I'd be happy to do that.
All right.
All right.
I know it's a
definitely-
time
I've never
commitment.
done a live
Sorry.
reaction to anything, and I'm worried I would have the wrong reaction to some things.
Ah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think I
Just put it
remember
in your
last
mind.
year during like the Fast and the Furious thing. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of good. And then after I was
Hey.
like, oh.
right.
I
I've
said the same
had
thing
that
with
happen
Fast
before.
and Furious. I'm automatically primed to be excited for it.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I was like, oh man, that graphically looks okay.
Mhm.
And then people were like, oh, it looks like a GameCube game. I was just like, okay, it looks like a GameCube game. Okay, I'll remember to say that, everybody.
Yeah.
I'll remember to have that opinion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've run into
Yeah.
that before, mainly with frame rate stuff because I can't see that shit at all. It just
Mhm.
can't.
I think
don't
I've been
know,
I've been
trouble.
more susceptible to understanding, I guess, recently. I film in 24 frames per second now. That's just
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
an artsy thing. 'Cause,
Right.
it's just kind of like more film-esque. It's mainly just so then it's more like, I guess, more cartoony movement, where it's just like
Right.
if I'm gonna whip something up, then it's less frames to work with. You can also mess around with stuff more
Right.
since you don't have as many frames to worry about. So
Mhm.
I'm a little more in the know on that now.
You
I
pick
don't know
things
anything
up
about
over
audio.
time.
Yeah, that's how it is with video work and games in general. But
Yeah.
I will never know anything about audio. That's kind of my one Shakespearean flaw.
I'm not sure if you heard earlier. You know Gil, right? Gilly the kid.
Yes, he did fix the video during my panel.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
He is
and
a
I did-
huge audio guy. I think it's because he's in a band. If you want audio advice, like he's always
Mhm.
willing to talk your ear off about, okay, if you want for this kind of thing for YouTube, use this mic.
Yeah.
So
Now, I think when I move out, because I desperately want to get like a house, just have like a bigger space, because
Absolutely.
I do not like that these are just sitting here. I would like it like a basement garage kind of deal.
Yeah.
Those Wii U boxes have been there for months. But
Oh, I know that
I would
feeling.
like a bigger house.
Yeah, I know
and
that feeling
when I
for
get
sure.
that, I could actually use that as an excuse to like look into a better setup. Like I want like an L-shaped desk and better just like equipment and stuff like that. That would give me a good excuse to do that.
I've been looking for an L-shaped desk myself, and it is hard to settle on the right one. That's
get-
why I'm
oh,
still
man.
sitting on the floor right now in our new office. And I don't
I
have-
got a basic
Yeah.
one. It does the
I mean,
job.
desks recently are like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like desks recently, if you're looking to buy a desk, a lot of them are just garbage quality.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
so cheap.
I had
like,
to buy
I went with this
3
one.
separate ones just to finally
Yeah.
get one that worked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're so bad. Like they're made out of super cheap material. Whenever I see like pictures of desks online for sale, like they're always they look so thin and stuff. The one I have is very, very rock solid,
Mm.
but it was like $200 at like Office Depot or Office Max or something.
Uh-huh.
But even then, it's too big to move out of the door. So like when I move out, I'm gonna have to take a sledgehammer and destroy this thing and then just buy a new one. So
I know that
that would give
feeling.
me an excuse, but it's kind of how it is. I just especially this year, just feeling so claustrophobic. I really want to move out, but the inventory for houses is god awful.
Oh,
right
no,
now. There's nothing there.
Yeah, trust me, the housing market sucks right now. It
Yeah.
is a seller's market, and we got lucky. I was almost
Oh
homeless,
yeah,
but that.
did you? I think I remember because I listen to the Game Explained podcast every now and then. Back a couple like years ago, I think you said like you moved out from like you had like this really horrible apartment, just like something like that.
A long
And
time,
then
yeah,
you
my
moved
very
into, like,
first
kinda
apartment.
like a condo
and-
sort of deal.
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. I started out in an apartment, nice and cheap. I was like, for first moving out of the house, $5-10 a month, including like heat, trash, all this other stuff. I was like, not bad.
Not that bad.
After a few, like 6-7 years, it's like, yeah, it's probably a bit basic for my needs at this point. So I've got a townhouse, and then came down here with Amy, and we needed more space. So just looked around down here. So had the fun of we got the approval for the loan, sold her place. Then I was waiting basically to sell my place because it's like that way I don't have to move it down to her place and then to the new place. I can just do one, move.
Right.
And then we got a call while we were on a vacation, basically saying, so we miscalculated your loan and you're actually not approved. And if you want to get approved, you have to you have to sell the townhouse and you have to sell pay off your car loan. Oh,
Ugh.
thank you. So then I had to, we were in a mad dash because her place was sold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was it. So we had to just do this mad dash of every little thing they wanted doing it so we could get this place that we had decided on and enjoyed. And honest to God, we did not get confirmation for the new place until about 20 minutes before the last chance we had of securing it. Like we were on
that is ridiculous.
yeah, on the drive there. Last hope is just like, well, what can we do? Just go for it and be on time in case it actually does go through. And it just happened to go through. And it sounded like we had a lot of people pulling for us behind the scenes, like that just saw our situations like, no, this is ridiculous. And I think they might have threatened lawyers on some of them, just like, this is ridiculous.
Jesus. Yeah, it is horrible. It is a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Trying to get a house because like I found like the perfect one where I was just like it had everything I want, and I'm very picky. I need specific things.
Yeah.
With the place I'm at. This one had everything. It was perfect, but like I tried to get a loan, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you had an unpaid credit card fee of $70, and because of that, your credit score isn't that great." And I'm like, "Come on, man! Like it's not that I couldn't pay that off. I just forget to pay off my credit card bills sometimes because like I just use my debit card most of the time because I don't have to remember to pay it off." But yeah, I couldn't get that one, so now I'm back to kind of square one, and it's kind of just checking Zillow, just hoping I find something. Because I want a fun studio. I want a bigger office. I want a living room that's I don't have a bunch of garbage related to making videos in.
Yeah.
I don't even bother looking because I live in LA, so
yeah.
LA. I mean, what
have you always lived in LA, or was that just
born
like
and raised?
Yeah.
So my wife and I just got a really nice new 2-bed, 2-bath apartment that we're living in, which we love. But in terms of actually getting a house, if we want to get a house in California, we got to move out to the boonies, and neither of us really want to do that. So,
yeah. I'm very picky on the specific like city the house like is in, because it's just like there's like the cities where it's just like I don't want to get a house there. Like it's just like it's just gonna be kind of like I don't know. You just don't feel that safe. And, this one is just like the city I want to be in. Is just like okay, you have enough stuff going on there, but nice safe area though. So it's just like that's kind of what I want. I've been in this 2-bedroom 1-bath for 2 years now. It's a solid place, but the problem is it's partially above ground because it's on the first floor, and the problem is I can't really keep the windows open because it's if you walk, you can just see everything in there. It's just like if you just walk by the window, you can see everything in there. It's pretty easy. If you saw inside my apartment, you could be like, oh, I can just break into his apartment and take that thing and then leave.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little too easy to do that. So it's and like just keeping the windows down all the time. It's really draining.
Not having that, trust me, my original apartment, not a lot of sunlight. It gets to you.
Yeah.
It gets to you.
Yeah. Well, the place where we moved from, we were in a literal cave because like the way our apartment was situated in the building, we were facing into a courtyard that itself only got light from directly above. So we never had any natural light. And now, thankfully, we live in the 5th floor above a major street in LA, open windows, lots of light coming in. So it's a much better, different experience. But I have learned it's interesting living on the 5th floor next to a lot of other buildings where you can see into other people's places and they can see into yours.
Yeah, you got to make sure to close the blinds at night because you have those lights on and all of a sudden you're seeing everything.
Yeah, so it's been a little different for sure, but yeah, I don't know when we're gonna. I know we would like to find a house or a condo or something, but it's not going to be in LA unless one of us wins the fucking lottery. It's not going to be.
I've heard a lot of people who live in like California kind of moved over to Texas because it's like whatever housing's like way cheaper there, but it's also like if you need to do something in LA or California in general, it's a pretty quick plane ride, kind of thing where it's just like you can just kind of quickly go over there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of like actors in Hollywood, like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
might
we,
live in
we've
Texas now.
considered that. I think like the problem for us, well, not the problem, like one of the main considerations for us is that a lot of the places we could afford like a big house is, at least in California, is Trump country. And like we will never go to Trump country. And so, you know, and plus we need to be somewhere that's diverse. My wife is Nigerian. So like we don't want to go to a place that's all white people, right? Like we want to live in a diverse.
Oh, you would hate Northwest Ohio then.
Probably
White
not
boy
Northwest
city
Ohio.
over here. That's
So
why,
yeah, probably, you know, we want to live in a diverse area, which LA is, and that's one reason we like being here. But you know, we'd like to live somewhere we can afford a giant house, but we just don't want to live in Trump country.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
guys, it's been a pleasure, but I don't want to
Absolutely.
keep babbling to keep you guys away from your other duties. And
That's
I
all
also
good. It's been a blast.
yeah, I got random junk to finish up tonight. So yeah, anytime you guys like ever want to do this again, I'm more than interested. It just kind of depends on when I'm free.
Yeah.
So it's just like just hit me up whenever, and I'm more than happy to.
Yeah.
I was the first man on this channel with John's.
That is true.
That track video.
That's true.
I think it was originally supposed to be me and Ash, but you had something going on. I think
Maybe.
he always said he's just like, would you be down to do a thing with me and Ash? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. He was like, Ash couldn't do it, and then he did he got Nitro Rat on there instead.
Oh, it was the first Watch That Track.
Yeah.
He brought me
Fun
back for the next-
facts.
Yeah, with Lady
Fun
Pelican.
facts. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure as always.
Absolutely.
Derek, hopefully next year I can see you Too Many Games again, if that's.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Get you
Yeah,
get
but,
you out
you
somehow.
guys- Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully you guys.
For all of us.
You guys have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too.
And,
All right, you too.
You guys take care in the chat,
Yeah.
and we'll see you tomorrow for more TNT.
All right,
Bye,
thank you,
everyone.
everybody. See you tomorrow.